3rd. Josh and Bob here with you. Connor running the board today. Heidi will be out again on Monday, so you have the weekend to relax, and then it's back to us, and then it's back to Heidi on Tuesday. But in the meantime, yes.
So you're Joan Rivers. I'm Ed McMahon.
Oh, Ed.
And Connor. Pretty good. Off the cuff, pretty good. And Connor is Skitch Henderson. That was the original band member.
Now, I don't know who Skitch Henderson is.
He was the band leader when they started.
Who's the one I'm thinking of? And I'm drawing a blank. Not Kevin Eubanks, the trumpet guy.
Oh,
why am I drawing
Doc
a blank?
Severinsen.
Doc Severinsen.
Connor can be Doc.
Connor's Doc, because I don't know who Skitch is.
Doc is here. Doc is not here.
Oh, Doc is here. He would join the show before you came. Heidi and I talked to Doc Severinsen, and I asked him.
Get out.
I said, do you have your trumpet? He said, yes, and he played us the Tonight Show theme.
That is awesome.
I said, do you have your trumpet nearby? He goes, it's always nearby. So
Buddy,
that was, yeah.
Almost like he bubbed you.
Yeah, bub. What do you think? Hey, dummy.
That's cool.
And if you like what you've heard for the last minute and a half, that's all we got today.
That's the show.
Because we've got a couple of guests to get to, but the rest
You don't sound very enthused about the guests even.
I am. I actually am very enthused about the guests. Mike Ward, as always, Ward on Wine in the 4 o'clock hour.
That's all we need.
Calling in live from the St. Louis Bourbon Fest at the Limp Mansion. He's going to talk to us about Jefferson's Bourbon. He'll be pouring today, so if you're out there, I want to say the event is 5 to 9. If you're out there at the Limp Mansion for the St. Louis Bourbon Festival, look for Jefferson's Bourbon, and you'll see Mike Ward.
So stop right there before you get to the rest of the show, because I don't want to forget this.
Uh-huh.
Have either of you two been to the Limp Mansion, in particular at nighttime, and even more particular around Halloween?
Okay, so I went to a murder mystery theater, right? Murder. And it was pretty cool, but halfway through the murder mystery, they kind of broke for,
An intermission. A haunting.
Yeah, right. And then me and the girl I was with at the time, we just kind of took it upon ourselves to walk around the mansion.
And then
peek in the rooms.
After you were trapped in a room and ghosts were attacked. See, you got to start the embellishments.
Oh, right. Yes.
Well, then,
and that's when I saw my first haunting.
Connor, have you ever been?
I actually have never been.
Nor have I.
Yeah.
We should do that. Let's take the show there.
Okay. No, tis the season.
Sometime this month, let's do a show from there.
Tis the season. There's a new book out. Chris Nafziger is a local historian. I think he works for the city now as the city's historian. And he's got a new book out about Adam Limp and the Western Brewery.
Was he the guy? Was he of the Limp Mansion?
He's
Adam
one of
Limp?
them. He's one of them. And many of them ended up.
See, had we been thinking ahead of time, we should be doing the show from the Limp Mansion today with Mike.
Well, we want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, we should. Because Mike's
what
there.
I'm saying to you.
Duh.
Okay.
If we're going to go, though, we want to bring Heidi with us.
Yeah, we always want to bring Heidi. We'll go down in the RV. No, let's do a show from there before Halloween.
Some of my best, closest friends got married at the Limp Mansion. It was an outdoor wedding.
Oh.
They do weddings at the Haunted Mansion.
Yes, haunted. It's haunted.
Wait a minute. Explain. Haunted?
I think that's the old-timey version of haunted.
I don't know if that's...
It's a haunting.
I've never
Good
heard it till
old-fashioned
right
haunting.
here. And if anything's old-timey, and I would know about it.
It would be you. Have you been down into the caverns?
I've never been.
You've never been?
I've driven
Oh, you
around.
guys.
I mean, you make that weird cloverleaf turn around it, but I've never been in it.
And as you drive past it, the lightning strikes. I thought it was a nice, clear day.
Horses neigh, like for Frau Bucher.
Yeah. Whoa, Rusty. Someone says you guys have to stay the night in the mansion. Do they offer that?
They have, but I don't know if that's still a thing.
That's still a thing.
There's a guest for next week. It is the season.
So we are going to put together quite the Halloween show.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Right. Well, I haven't scheduled it yet, but we're
Oh,
going to
okay.
do a bunch of interviews
It's
about.
a need to know, and I don't need to know.
Right. St. Louis is one of the most haunted cities in America, and they say the Bissell Mansion's pretty haunted.
Where's
We'll
that?
talk- The
Don't know of
Bissell.
it. Don't know of it.
I don't know where. I think it's up north.
And is that the one near Alton?
No, the one near Alton is the McPike Mansion.
Yeah. Really creepy.
So my parents lived in Alton for a while. My mom, we're from North County, obviously, way North
I
County.
believe that's pronounced Narth County.
We're from Narth County, Fox Lake. And my mom always wanted to live in Webster. Well, when you're a Catholic school principal, you can't afford to live in Webster. So we moved over to Alton, which really has the exact same vibe. Once you get up the hill, it's got a really great vibe there in Alton. That cemetery over there is really fun to go to.
Really?
At night and during the day. And when you drive to Schnucks to buy your groceries, Bob, you drive right past the McPike Mansion every time.
Is it?
It's pretty creepy.
Okay.
It is pretty creepy.
I'll
And
have
at
to do that
Halloween,
someday.
they set up decorations. They have like witches circles. And I think they will host a
We're not doing
seance
that.
or two.
We're not doing any of that.
Would you walk into one of these places?
I
Connor,
might.
Bob, would you do it?
Heavily
Would you-
armed.
For a seance,
Yeah. What
Now-
would you be armed with?
like crosses and holy water.
Exactly.
Okay.
Garlic.
All right. No, that's vampires.
You never know. Could be a crossover haunting.
Guys, I got silver bullets. I got
Exactly
garlic.
Yeah, all your bases covered.
You know, whatever takes down a Frankenstein, I'm ready to go.
I'm going to get what was the neutron pack the Ghostbusters carried?
yeah,
I'd have to
the,
take that.
What is that thing called? 84126 on the text line if you want to jump in and join us.
Positron, something like that.
I'm sure that's real tech.
Of course.
Yeah, ectoplasm.
I've got some research on a haint.
On the hainting.
On the hainting.
Yes.
It's a real term
Oh,
from
look at Josh.
southern folklore, typically Mississippi Delta
I do
or
declare.
South Carolina. You're supposed to paint, or they used to paint the roof of the porch a certain shade of blue to scare them off. So
Keep the haints out.
paint blue is a shade
Oh.
in some places of paint.
Now that is good
There you
info.
go. There's
I
some
like
other,
it.
There's some other things you were supposed to do, like leave a book open near your bed because they would have to count all the words before they would haunt you.
Oh, really?
Or like hang a broom, they'd have to count all a lot of counting related things. They'd have to count
And
all
ghosts don't like to count, apparently.
they're compelled to
So
But they're compelled to.
in this according to this.
Wow.
counting is a big thing in vampire lore as well. And if you, I wish Max were here because he's the.
So you know all about vampires?
He's the scary movie expert. You'll watch some movies and you'll see that they incorporate the counting in it. I think it's more of an old world thing. But the counting is big with vampires, which is why on Sesame Street.
Count Chocula. What was his name?
His name is the Count.
Oh,
I don't know if he has a full. Connor, does he have a full name? Just the Count. 1, 2. That's why they have the Count.
that's why they have him there. Okay.
Counting.
It all comes together.
His full name,
Yes.
Count von Count.
Oh, well,
The Count.
there you go. So you were right and I was right.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody on the text line, 84126, by the way. Oh, if you want to call us. We always ask people to call us, but they never do. Everybody wants to text. Nobody calls anymore. But you can call us, 314-931-5877. But over on the text line, I got married at the mansion, Limp Mansion, 30 years ago this coming October 20th.
Oh, close.
But a October Limp Mansion wedding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ooh. It was awesome. It was an outside wedding. We stayed there in the hotel. It was so much fun. The fireplace came on by itself,
Yeah.
and there was weird things going on. It was super cool. Great food. Patty Limp took great care of us. It's beautiful. I highly recommend the mansion for a wedding.
Speaking of weddings and Max Foisey, didn't he get married on Halloween? And
Max,
he had the costumes at the ceremony
next time he comes in, we'll have to ask him.
or reception, one or the other. He had the costumes were involved.
So he
Where
doesn't
he
just
is-
like Halloween.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
Well, he doesn't just like Halloween. Horror is his favorite genre.
Yeah, right.
And, just looking at him, you're like, oh, this guy. But Max was a little under the weather, so he didn't join us for the movie segment on Thursdays. But I digress. We'll bring Max in and ask him about his Halloween wedding.
Yeah.
Because this month, I think across the board, since we already missed an October Thursday, he'll just do scary movies and the different genres of scary movies.
Oh, break them down.
Break them down for the rest of the month.
Do you watch them? Do you watch the scary movies?
So I don't like the jump scare ones. I think it's cheap. I kind of like watching old, like 70s horror movies.
Old.
Sorry, Bob. The really old ones
So
from the
old.
70s.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
We're talking 1980. That's
the ones that
ancient.
Bob was in his 20s when he went to go see them. I like the old movies because they're so campy. And, there's some kitsch to it. Like an old 70s.
Now, we did, on the Frank and Jill show, we did the original Friday the 13th when we had Tarek Khan, our movie guy, come in. And we all watched it. It's extremely low budget.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you're thinking, it's lower than that. And it's noticeable. So I agree with you, Josh, but some of these old ones, it's like, some people went out in the backyard with a camera in the 70s.
But
you can tell.
Right. But they had the Hammer films with Peter Cushing.
Terrible.
I think they're kitschy.
They're terrible. So what you're missing, maybe you're not missing and didn't even mean this, but the Universal monster horror movies of the 30s, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Dracula, The Mummy. And then I think it's probably number 2 or 3 on my all-time list, and we'll get into this with Max this month sometime, is the original film The Haunting. I think it's about 1960,
It's
61.
black and white.
Black and white.
Yeah.
I just think it's spectacular.
Probably have been remade half a dozen times.
It was remade, in the last 10 years, 15 years?
They made campy versions of it. What was the one with, I think Michael J. Fox was in a version.
Really? I'm not aware of that.
But they stay overnight in a haunted house.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the premise. Is that the one where if they stay there all night, they like win the house or something?
No, that's not the original.
It's something else. Okay.
Anyway, and then you got in the 70s, not all campy, like Greg Peck, Lee Remick in The Omen.
Oh my gosh.
It's a great film. And then one I'll never watch again, so therefore it has to be the scariest by definition, and that's The Exorcist.
I will never
Ever
watch
again.
Ever.
Have you ever seen it once?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's
It's
enough.
not even that. I'm not
Yeah.
even a horror guy, and I don't think it's that bad.
So I bought the DVD.
I don't know, but I don't know what
think
you
it's
guys are
bad.
talking about.
I think it's the scariest.
I just don't
went-
agree.
I went to the Walmart. I bought it was in the bin, $5 bin. Oh, The Exorcist. I've never seen it. Oh, yeah, they say people were throwing up in the aisles, right? So I bring it home, and I watch the first half. And as soon as she does the spider walk down the stairs, turned it off.
That's the director's cut.
Yeah.
You got the good one, the director's cut.
Turned it off, took it out, put it back in the case,
Burned it.
walked it out to the dumpster, and I didn't even want it in the house anymore.
The next morning
Come
at
on.
2 in, it's back in the machine and playing.
Yeah, right. I walk out, it's on the coffee table with a banana peel on top of it. But throughout the
kill us.
years, I tempted fate again, and I'm like, well, let me finish it. Somebody said, well, Josh, you didn't finish it. At the end, they get rid of the devil. And it's like, no, I don't.
Nice spoiler alert.
Right. But then the guy
Right.
jumps out the window.
They win.
Right. The bed is shaking, the pea soup. Oh, the vulgar words that she spews at these people. I need an old priest and a young
I mean, it's
priest.
scary. I just never thought it was. It wasn't. It didn't traumatize me.
Ghosts and possessions.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
I
with you.
can't do that stuff.
What about The Shining? That was for me. The Shining was.
Shining was just like a good movie.
I didn't think
Okay.
it was particularly scary, but I
Pretty
thought it was
scary.
terrific.
Yeah. Someone says, I think the movie Naked Lunch freaks me out more than any horror movie. That was a really weird one. I can't even watch The Exorcist in the daytime.
Yeah,
It's
agreed.
petrifying. Yeah.
Well, I've told this story before. When I came home from seeing The Exorcist at the theater, I walk down the hallway to my room. My little sister's door is open. She's about the same age as Reagan at the time. Street light comes through the window, curtains flapping.
Yeah.
I ran and jumped into bed and pulled the covers over.
I remember being in grade school at the Florissant Library, the one over by Bangert Park, and I got the book about the boy, the actual boy.
Oh, the real story.
From Maryland. And, I probably got a third of the way through that before I, put it back in the chute. I put it in the slot and, take it. I don't want it anymore.
There are a lot of people within the sound of our voice of a certain age that were taught at St. Louis U High by the priest that did the Father Bodern, Bowdern, I think. And he taught at St. Louis U High. I know several friends that he was a teacher there. It was an unbelievable deal.
And in years past, this time of year, there was a librarian at SLU, and I think he's since retired. But you can catch him on a good day, and he'll come in, and he's told us about it a number of times.
Really?
Just kind of once a year relay the story again. Maybe we could dig that up and play that sometime this month,
That'd be
too.
interesting.
Salem's Lot, somebody on the text line, the Blue Vampire.
I think it's a good movie. David Soul, is that right?
Oh, is that David Soul?
Anyway, I think the book is even scarier. It's a Stephen King book.
It always turned me off because it was a two-taper. Like when you
You
went,
got to have the second tape.
when you went to the video store.
It's all
it
about
was,
your convenience, isn't
Going
it?
way back.
Oh, this is 2 tapes. I don't know.
Boy.
Now, these are newer ones, but have either of you seen Hereditary or Midsummer?
No, I'm off. I don't like to be scared anymore.
Midsummer, that was an interesting premise, right?
I'll never see those again.
It was like a
Oh,
cult.
there you go.
And
Oh,
I
see?
wish I had never seen them
In the first place.
in the first place.
Midsummer, my son, Brad, that you know is a movie guy, he agrees with you. He thinks Midsummer is a classic horror movie.
Who did that?
And it's
That's
all in the
a-
daytime, isn't
Classic,
it?
yeah, it's very much in the daytime, and classic in that I don't ever want to see it
Well, you're
again.
scared enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Midsummer by the guy Dave Eggers? Was it Dave Eggers or the guy that did Nosferatu
You're thinking of
and The Witch?
The Witch,
The
the
Witch.
Vit, the
The Vitch.
But it was
But
two
to
V's.
get
Yeah.
in the mood, as much as I'm going to get in, while I was doing some work at home, had the TV on and caught the last 30 minutes of Carrie, Stephen King's first
Well, that's the best part.
published novel.
I like
And,
that one.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a horror movie.
No, it's more
Is
of it's a revenge movie.
Yeah, it's kind of
it's a teen
scary.
comedy.
it kind of is.
It's scary. And one of the few, I shouldn't say few, but one of the movies that adaptations of a King novel that he really loved. He really liked it. He said the movie helped make his career as a writer.
I've said this before, but when my favorite Stephen King anecdote was that while he was writing Cujo, he was deep in the throes of addiction. Booze and I think cocaine was a drug of choice. And he has said recently he doesn't even remember writing the book.
Wow.
That's how deep he was into it. So it was, when he picks it up and reads, it's new to him. Oh, this is brilliant. Amityville Horror, I thought that movie was so campy with the pig in the window. But every time I
A lot of
wake up,
people love it.
every time I wake up and look at the clock and it's 3:30, I'm like, uh-oh,
Where's the pig?
Yeah, and then I can't get back to bed for another 30 minutes. Someone says Max is probably losing his mind listening to you guys talk. Well, we invited him in,
But
he's under the
upset.
weather.
Yeah, because he would have stories about each one of these movies we're talking
Did you know
about.
there
He
was a
knows them
Carrie Broadway musical
all. Yeah.
adaptation?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's weird. That's a weird one. Honey, you want to go to the show tonight? 2 votes for Amityville Horror, The Changeling with George C. Scott and Audrey Hepburn, Wait Until Dark. So we'll do this all month long, and we'll have Max in on Thursdays at 3:30 to talk about scary movies. But I guess 'tis the season, and we kicked it off by talking about the Limp Mansion. And here we are.
Here we are.
You go on the tour, and they will take you down into the caverns. It's nice and cool down there year-round,
Where I can keep my beer.
and that's where you store your beer. Mike Ward is going to call us live from the St. Louis Bourbon Festival at the Limp Mansion. Later on in this hour, though, Royal Oaks is going to join us and talk about the Diddy sentencing. Do we have something, or will we have to wait until Monday to find out what Diddy's going to be getting as far as jail time, if any at all? Time served was also an option. Brendan Weesey's going to join us to talk about weekend sports. Mizzou is off, but what other college football games are going on this weekend? I know Illinois' got a big one, and we've got Alabama next weekend. So things that happen even though we're not playing, things that happen this week.
Illinois at Purdue, is that correct? Anyone? I think it's Illinois at Purdue.
Connor will double check on that. And then friend of the show, Brad Meltzer. He's an author. The last time we chatted with him was about 6 months ago. He's got a JFK conspiracy book. And
that's not what he's on for.
No. Quite the opposite, actually. He's also a child book author. And his series of childhood books is being featured and highlighted at the Magic House. It's a new exhibit there. Hero Quest is what it's called, and we're the first ones getting this. And it's going to run at the Magic House for a couple of years, and then it's going to go on a tour to other children's museums around the country, but we get the first one. Why? Well, Brad will tell us in the 5 o'clock hour. He's become a friend of us and a friend of the show. So that's what we've got on the show for today. I actually had a movie thing sticking in my craw that I wanted to run past you. It has nothing to do with horror movies.
Well, we're here right now.
But I'll bring it up after traffic. It is 3:30. Captain Paul Kopsky in the traffic center. Take it away, Paul.
And Josh, emergency vehicles are on southbound 270 at Tesson Ferry, blocking the left lane and causing a stop and go back up to Big Bend. They've cleared an accident on northbound 270 at 70, and the residual slowdown back to Page is thinning out. And a construction note, starting tonight, MoDOT crews will demolish the I-55 bridge over 67 in Jefferson County. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. Check out the Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account, a checklist checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. Online at neighborscu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
When you go and get your car washed, do you really care which car wash you go to? Yes, because not all car washes are created equal. Country Club Car Wash is the local family-owned and family-operated car wash since 1989. All these other ones that are popping up, they're all run by out-of-town hedge funds. Keep it local, keep it great. Touchless car washes, no brushes, inside and out. 5 area locations, Country Club Car Wash, or cccwstl.com.
Ronald Reagan once famously said, "Government is not the solution, government is the problem." When it comes to economic growth, government can be a roadblock. With red tape, regulations, and subsidies, government stifles entrepreneurship and also props up businesses that deserve to go under. Unlike government, free markets encourage risk-taking, freedom to succeed or fail. Governments shouldn't be picking winners and losers, the market should. Free markets benefit the business owner and the customer by encouraging competition. Free Market enabled a young man named J.C. Hall selling picture postcards in Kansas City to turn his idea into Hallmark cards. In St. Louis, the free market made it possible for Adolphus Busch to turn his father-in-law's local beer into the world's largest brewery. A free market also means you get to send your kids to the school of your choice. Learn more about free markets at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
When it comes to mortgage lenders, I know you have no shortage of options. But are you working with someone local who can truly simplify the process? I'm David Goldberg with the Goldberg Group, and as a St. Louis home purchase expert, I know this market inside and out. I specialize in tough-to-complete situations for borrowers who are self-employed, looking to buy and sell at the same time, and may have been turned down somewhere else. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or seasoned homeowner, you can trust me with all of your home financing needs. Call or text me at 314-471-4030. 314-471-4030.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
You might know Graybar for cable and connectivity, but there's one more thing you should know us for that can help optimize your project's total value, like our comprehensive electronic solutions for security, AV, wireless, and networking, or our specialized job site services, like material staging and kitting, or maybe our logistics specialist, who can help you identify efficiencies and ensure just-in-time delivery. So consider what one more thing you may need to optimize your bottom line and get to know us for that. Yep, Graybar does that.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time. And you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau. See what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with. And also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
You've seen the movies Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Have you always wondered what it would be like to be a Top Gun instructor or pilot? Now is your chance at the National Museum of Transportation. On October 15th at 7 p.m., Captain Kevin Proton McLaughlin, United States Navy retired former commander of Top Gun and technical advisor to the movie Top Gun Maverick, will be the featured speaker. Tickets are $30. Reserve your spot now online at tnmot.org at the National Museum of Transportation.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Right, so I've told Connor this, but Bob, have I clued you in? What is this guy's name? Michael Olden?
Mike Oldfield. It's Tubular Bells, of course.
Tubular Bells, Mike Oldfield.
It's a 30-minute long track. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah.
I knew it was long, but I didn't know that.
The theme to The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Super creepy.
Yeah.
But once you get about 2 or 3 minutes in,
it changes up.
Very
Becomes real jazzy.
Real
jazz
new,
hands.
Well,
It's like
real,
a new agey,
kind of uplifting, kind of what you would hear while getting a massage somewhere, you know. You imagine if you're getting a massage and the track flips over to Tubular Bells.
I gotta go. Sorry, I forgot.
All right, so we had mentioned Mike Ward's going to be pouring bourbon at the Bourbon Festival at Limp Mansion, and we had said, have you ever been to Limp Mansion? Well, Michelle's been. She called us on the phone, 314-931-5877. She's been because she used to be an actress at the Murder Mystery Theater. Michelle, welcome to the show. It's Michelle, right?
It is correct.
Yeah, so you used to be an actress.
Well, I still am, but about a little over 20, back in the early 2000s, I was doing Murder Mystery Dinner Theater down there and had some interesting experiences, even caught on film.
Well, tell us more.
Yeah, well, the first one, I was having my picture taken as this character on the steps down there, and I had pictures taken in succession, and this was using a camera with film, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first picture that I saw, once the film was developed, there must have been 24 orbs all around me. And on the left-hand side of me was this white mist, all right?
Ooh.
The next picture, there was still a bunch of orbs, but the mist had streaked over my head. And then literally less than a minute later, I took the camera, took a picture of my castmate, And when I saw him on the stairs, it was absolutely clear.
Oh,
There was nothing.
they wanted you.
Well, the ghost over there liked me. Maybe they thought I was funny. I don't know. But the second one, we used to change our clothes up in the nursery, which was classic haunted house. I mean, the wallpaper was water stained, the ceiling was exposed wood. It was, you thought you were walking into a movie set. I'm sure it's been fixed since then.
And that was the nursery.
Yeah, that was the nursery. Exactly.
Right.
But I went up there to get some extra props, and it was dark. And there's one of these clip-on lamps, that carpenters tend to use.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden, I got this feeling, and I'd been there for several years already, and never felt this before. When they say the hair on the back of your neck stands up, it was that, and it was electricity. And I knew there was somebody standing behind me.
Oh, man.
And I was scared to death. And I picked up my stuff, and I said, I'm leaving now. And when I turned around, I thought, please don't let there be anything there. Please don't let there be anyone there.
Yeah.
I grabbed my stuff, ran out of there, and I did not go back up there by myself ever again.
Ever.
Wow. Well,
Ever
you talked
again,
about hair standing. When you were telling it, I got chills. That's scary.
Well, and then one night, they have another set of stairs that the servants used in the back, and I'm standing on the stairs, and I felt somebody step next to me. So I've had a few experiences. Ghosts tend to like me. I've had lights come on around me and pictures fly off the shelf after relatives have passed away. So
You're creeping me out here.
Yeah, come down to the City Museum. I'll really creep you out.
Okay.
Is the City Museum haunted?
Probably. Actually, it's kind of funny because it's housed in what was the International Shoe Company,
right?
And my mother worked here in the mid 1930s, and so I keep waiting for her to show up one of these days.
Now, I've heard that certain people are susceptible to hauntings, people who have an open mind towards it. But I have also heard that those people themselves are a little weird, Michelle. So
you're calling me weird.
Why would you insult our guest?
So would you say
You know
that?
what?
Do you
my
believe?
My husband might agree with you. We've been married for 43 years, and he still thinks I'm off the wall. So,
Do you believe? I guess you do.
I do.
Oh my goodness!
I'll tell you what. 2 weeks after my brother died, the lights in my house came on full. My recessed lights. They're on a dimmer switch. And I was across the room. And before my brother died, he said, when you die, it's just lights out, man. I'm going the same place my dog Bosco's going. It's just lights out. And that happened 2 weeks after he died. And I stopped and I said, well, perhaps you found out there's more on the other side.
How about that? Yeah.
Well, here's one more. And then I'll let you go. My father-in-law, who was a Broadway actor, by the way, name of Steve Elmore. He was in the original production of Company. He had died November 6th, 2017. And the next year, I'm sitting with my husband in the living room, and I said, oh, you know what today is? I said, today's the anniversary of your father's death. And the lights came on again over the fireplace.
Oh, man.
Only halfway, but they did. And the look on my husband's face, his eyes nearly fell out of his head.
Does he believe?
I don't know. I don't know.
You might be a conduit.
Yeah.
I think I could be. When my mother-in-law passed away, her number came up on my phone 3 times, and I didn't answer it because it was a little creepy, right?
Yeah.
And the third time I answered it, and there was nobody there. So either maybe they're messing with the numbers, or maybe she just wanted to call and say, you know what, I'm here. It's okay.
Did she leave a voicemail?
No, she didn't.
Now,
the voicemail.
Michelle, I've got to tell you, I love these stories, and this is the time of year for it, for sure. But going back to the Limp Mansion, what was it like being an actress on the at the stage there? And then, I guess it's not a stage; it's the dining room.
The dining room.
And do they still do that?
I think they do. I gave it up after a while because I got tired. I was tired. I had a couple of young kids, but it was great. I've had some of the best times of my life down there, and I learned to read people really well. You knew after a while who the obnoxious people were going to be, so you stayed away from them.
Sure.
Especially when they got a few drinks in them.
And yet you called the show. Really,
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, I had a lot of fun and made some really great memories and, had some wonderful, crazy experiences down there.
Well,
I would like to go back up on the third floor. I want to spend the night there some night, just,
well, maybe we'll do a Friday night show, and then Bob and I and Heidi will stay. Heidi will leave. She's
So
not.
will I.
Yeah. No.
Well,
Bob and I will stay with you.
No, you
I've
you
heard
can
that
stay.
people have left in the middle of the night at like 3:00, and they went out and never came back.
Oh, boy.
I've heard things like that.
Well,
so.
I am somewhat of a skeptic, but the story that you shared about your brother, that one is really going to stick with me for a while. So, Michelle, thanks for calling in. Oh, I just got the chills thinking about it again. Have a great weekend and happy October.
Happy spooky season.
Yeah. All right, moving away from the spooky movies, I did want to talk to you guys about a movie trope that has been bothering me, actually, fairly recently. I told you guys that I've been watching the Marvel movies again.
Oh, you're trying to watch the whole universe,
Yeah.
right?
So I am on, Avengers Endgame.
You've gone pretty far in it
I'm
then.
all the way through it,
Yeah.
baby. We're on the last one. I stayed up way too late last night. I'm halfway through the last one. But there's a movie trope out there, good versus evil. And the villain at some point will always take, a hostage or something. And the hostage in the villain's arms as they just, shoot him, and the hero is like, pointing the gun and they say, I can't do it,
Right.
And they let the villain go. I think in the Marvel movie, they had like 3 times that they could have taken out, Thanos, but they didn't.
I think Thanos is misunderstood, but we'll get to that later.
Okay. You think there's too many people walking around this earth?
We'll get to that later. I interrupted you.
When you watch a movie and they let the guy go, like Batman doesn't kill people.
Mm-hmm.
He lets him, I'm not going to kill you, but I'll lock you up. How many times has the Joker broken out of Arkham Asylum and gone on a killing spree? Next time you watch a movie where they use mercy to let the villain,
right,
have another day, start the body count and find out, if would have just stopped him there.
Well, no good deed goes unpunished.
Star Wars movies. Obi-Wan Kenobi throws his lightsaber away when he could have just ended Darth Vader right there. And then he goes on and destroys a whole planet, if not more. So next time you're watching a movie and one of these, mercy things happen, just find out, what, if they would have just ended it there, how many innocent people?
You wouldn't be the typical good guy then.
I don't know. What's the good guy? Saving millions of people? Or, whatever. It is 3:47. We're going to go to commercial break and hit traffic when we come back and then talk to Royal Oakes, ABC News legal analyst. The TV has Diddy's sentence, and we'll talk to Royal when we come back and find out what it is.
And now, KTRS weather from the John Beal Roofing Weather Desk.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Any slight chance for a spot shower, thunder shower ends this evening, and then clearing skies, another warm one for the weekend. Plenty of sunshine and dry weather both days as well. We wake up to 66 Saturday morning. That's mild early on, and then heats up quickly for a warm to hot afternoon, a high of 87 degrees under sunny skies. A little breeze at 10 to 15 miles per hour to the south will help. Sunday, sunny skies, a little breeze, and a high of 87 again. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing is the home of the lowest price roofing guarantee. Get a free estimate today at johnbealroofing.com.
Navigating to and through retirement doesn't have to be complex. Listen to What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means. Sunday mornings at 10 on KTRS, the Talk of St. Louis.
Classical music legends take to the stage with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra at Slatkin and Axe, Hope and Humanity, this October 11th and 12th. Conductor Leonard Slatkin returns to lead the U.S. premiere of his own work, as well as Elgar's majestic First Symphony. Also, Grammy Award-winning award-winning pianist Emanuel Ax showcases his adventurous spirit in Mozart's Piano Concerto No. 25, October 11th and 12th at Powell Hall. Tickets available at SLS.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at stlmedweightloss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it, too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
Hi, it's David Sherwood of the Inside Out Show and president of Sherwood's Forest on Barrett Station Road, just south of Manchester. Fall planting season is here now. We are fully stocked with the area's largest selection of evergreens, Japanese maples, magnolias, and shade trees. Choose from lilac trees, sugar maples, birch, October glory, hornbeams, and crab to provide summertime shade and great fall and spring color. At Sherwood's Forest, you'll also find hundreds of green giant arborvitae and junipers to screen thy neighbor.
And right now, get 5 mums for $40.
Sherwood's Forest has been planting smiles for over 45 years, so head to the forest, Sherwood's Forest at 2651 Barrett Station Road, or check out our inventory at sherwoods-forest.com or call 314-966-0028.
Have you seen all the 5-star reviews Michael's Baths has gotten on Google? How about their A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau? Everyone, including the nanny, raves about Michael's friendly office staff and their experienced installation team. With over 30 years of experience, all they do is bathrooms. They're not trying to be the biggest. They just want to be the best. Right now, get a free shower door or $500 off your bathroom remodel. Call Michael's Baths, 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Meep, meep. Royal Oaks is on the phone. We'll get to him right after traffic. Captain Paul Kopsky.
Josh, emergency vehicles are on southbound 270 at Tesson Ferry, blocking the left lane with the stop and go back up all the way to Manchester. Southbound 55 is running slow from Gasconade to South Broadway, where it's nearly bumper to bumper. And westbound 64 is heavy in front of Forest Park and in Lake St. Louis. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Oh, this is Tubular Bells. What is it, Connor? 4 minutes in?
This is 10 minutes in.
10 minutes in.
A lot less spooky.
Yeah. With the guitar, it's not as scary. Royal Oaks has breaking news for us. Sean Diddy Combs has gotten his sentence. Royal, what are we looking at?
It is 4 years and 2 months, according to the judge. This sends a message to victims of domestic violence everywhere. He says this translates to accountability. Of course, the prosecution wanted over 11 years, and the judge was pretty hard on Sean Diddy Combs in the hearing today. But now this translates, by the way, to the fact that with good time, because in the federal system you can cut about 8 months off of your sentence that he has just been handed. So that means that he could be out with credit for the 14 months he already served. He could be out in February 2028, but he has been sentenced 50 months in federal prison.
And Roy, we talked previously that he had done some remarkable things while in jail with inmates and others and teaching things, and apparently was exemplary. Would he have an opportunity to cut that down even further on good behavior?
No, the good behavior is just sort of automatic. You keep your nose clean. You can get a certain number of days off per year. And that translates to the 8 years. But the judge addressed this. I mean, Combs stood up and he apologized and he talked for 12 minutes because he didn't talk to at all during the trial. He said it was disgusting, shameful, and sick what he did. He's lost everything: his reputation, his family, his businesses. He said, "I beg your honor for mercy." The judge responded and said, a history of good work can't wash away the record in this case. Shows you abused your power. You drove 2 women to consider suicide. And as a result, he said, I've got to issue a substantial sentence. It's actually less than what the probation department suggested. They said, how about 5 to 7 years? But this judge went a little lower than that, 4 years and 2 months.
Okay, so all morning we had seen leading up to this, they showed a video, they had letters from his kids. What were they doing to try to lessen his sentence?
They tried to show that you got to look, Your Honor, at the whole man here. Don't just look at these shameful things that he did. And he admits that he was battling drug addiction, and the video showed him giving a eulogy for the mother of 4 of his children, about him running in the New York Marathon, raising a bunch of money for good causes. And as I say, the judge alluded to that and said, you've done some good stuff, and you battled addiction. But it wasn't enough to cause him to go along with what the defense wanted. They had said, hey, Your Honor, he served 14 months waiting for this sentencing day. So how about if you just say time served? The judge was not about to go along with that. Now, the question is, will Donald Trump pardon him? Because Diddy's lawyers certainly are hoping for that. Donald Trump has commented that when Diddy endorsed Biden in 2020, saying there'll be a race war if Donald Trump is elected, maybe that hurt Sean Diddy Combs' chances for a pardon right now.
That'll be interesting. I don't know what the excuse or the reason for a pardon would be. Do you think justice was served in this case?
Well, based on the testimony by the women that was consistent with the videotape that we saw of the beating of Cassie Ventura, it certainly looks like the jury got it right. Not to say that he doesn't have defenses in terms of his drug addiction and so on. And by the way, he's got an argument on appeal that the prostitution counts. That's all he was convicted of. He was found not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking, which could have landed him in prison for life. The prostitution counts, he can say, well, folks on the appellate panel, this isn't prostitution. This is just kind of a weirdo, freak-off performance art thing I put together. But that probably isn't the strongest argument, but I think it's the one that his lawyers are going to push the hardest.
And does he stay where he's at? Does he go back to his cell and for the next 4 years, that's where he'll be? Or does he get transferred somewhere else?
Yeah, so there's a federal jail facility there, Rikers Island in New York City, and that's for folks getting ready for their trial and pending sentencing. Now he'll be assigned to a federal prison. And, it could be in Biloxi, Mississippi. It could be Nome, Alaska. The probation department, the prison corrections department will confer with the judge and come up with the right solution. It has to do with where his family is and other pertinent factors. But no, he'll be transferred to a regular federal prison very soon.
And Royal, we always see a lot of these high-profile cases, especially dealing with rich and famous people. You don't normally see convictions and heavy sentences. 4 years and 2 months. That seems like quite a bit for someone as high profile as Puff Daddy.
Yeah, and especially when you look at it this way, it was a 10-year per count sentence maximum. So he had 2 counts of prostitution. That's 20 years. But everybody knew from the get-go when he was convicted a few months ago, that's not how the system works. You have these federal guidelines, and you have credit for time served, and you have credit for keeping your nose clean, good time behavior. So we thought it would be in the 4 to 6 year range a few months ago, and sure enough, that's where the judge came down. He's a little less than the probation department recommendation of 5 to 7 years, and way less than what the prosecution wanted, which was a tick over 11 years.
Royal Oaks, ABC News legal analyst, thanks for breaking it down for us.
You bet, thanks.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcast? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Yeah, stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things, uninterrupted at Amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to Amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
How's your deck holding up? Time for a new one? Time to redo the one you're sitting on? It's time to call Outdoor Living. Outdoor Living last summer helped me with my deck, and I cannot tell you how thrilled I am. Outdoor Living Inc. not only showed me all the different options, whether it's PVC, composite, vinyl wrapped, wood, but Outdoor Living has the largest showroom in St. Louis, 2,000 square feet of decking, so I figured out exactly what I wanted from the largest showroom in town. 314-966-DECK or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A possible breakthrough in the Gaza ceasefire deal. Hamas responding today, saying it will agree to some of the points in the U.S. proposal, including the release of hostages, but says negotiations are needed. ABC's Ian Pannell says it could be a delay tactic.
They're agreeing to some of the elements in there, but they seem to be adding their own conditions, and there's a lot of detail there that isn't mentioned. They say that they're, in principle, ready to agree to the release of the hostages, according to the exchange formula contained in President Trump's proposal, but they say provided that the field conditions for the exchange are met.
Hamas's political leader, in an interview with Al Jazeera, cast doubt that all of the hostages could be exchanged in 72 hours. President Trump earlier issued a Sunday deadline for Hamas to agree to the proposal. The White House has not commented yet. In New York City, the sentencing hearing for Sean Diddy Combs ending with a judge imposing a 50-month sentence for him for the 2 prostitution-related convictions. Combs will get credit for time served since his arrest. He's been in jail for 14 months. The judge weighed victim impact statements along with a produced video shown by Combs' defense highlighting the music mogul's career and home life. ABC's Aaron Katursky is outside federal court.
He sentenced Sean Combs to 4 years in prison. That's not as much as federal prosecutors here wanted. They wanted 11 years in prison, reminding the judge that Sean Combs has a penchant for violence and abuse, pointing to 2016 hotel security video showing Combs attacking Cassie Ventura.
The government shutdown is heading into next week after the Senate failed to pass a stopgap measure today to extend funding. Another vote expected Monday. 750,000 federal workers are furloughed, essential employees, including the military, working without pay. You're listening to ABC News.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one. A moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. A murder charge has been dismissed in the 2019 shooting death of a 16-year-old girl in St. Louis. Last month, Marquise Quinn was arrested and charged with the death of Christina Curry. However, a grand jury this week declined to indict Quinn. Police say text messages were exchanged between Curry and Quinn, indicating she was pregnant and Quinn was the father. The text also showed that Quinn and Curry set up a meeting. Curry's body was later found in the parking lot of Roosevelt High School. The St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office has issued a statement which reads, "Our office remains committed to pursuing justice for Christina and her family. There is no statute of limitations for murder cases, and if additional evidence becomes available, it will be reviewed." Former Congresswoman Cori Bush is throwing her hat back into the political arena. Bush released a video announcement this morning to launch her campaign for Missouri's 1st congressional district.
I'm running again because St. Louis deserves leadership that doesn't wait for permission, doesn't answer to wealthy donors, and doesn't hide when things get tough.
Bush lost the Democratic primary in August of 2025 to Wesley Bell. Meantime, U.S. Representative Wesley Bell is proposing a U.S. postage stamp to honor the late former U.S. Representative William Lacey Clay Sr. Clay served in Congress for 3 decades, representing Missouri's 1st congressional district, the St. Louis area district Bell now serves. Bell noted that Clay fought for civil rights, working people, and those too often left out or unheard. Clay became the first African American to be elected to Congress from Missouri in November of 1968 and was a founding member of the Congressional Black Caucus. Federal employees and lawmakers gathered in the Metro East to speak out about the government shutdown. Dozens turned out for the rally outside of the federal courthouse in East St. Louis to voice their concerns. Among the lawmakers were Congressman Wesley Bell and Representative Nikki Budzinski. A faculty member at Webster University has been elected as the incoming president of the American Psychological Association. The story from KTRS's Steve Potter.
Linda Wolf is the first Missourian ever to be elected as APA president. It's an international organization made up of around 173,000 researchers, educators, clinicians, and students. It's the largest professional association of psychologists in the world. Wolf holds a bachelor's and master's degree from Webster and a doctorate from St. Louis University. She'll serve as the 2026 president-elect and then as APA president in 2027. Wolf says she'll focus on diversity and will work to strengthen the psychology profession in order to promote its global impact. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. General Mills is announcing the closing of a pizza crust manufacturing facility in St. Charles. The company said it is in an effort to cut costs. The facility is off Elm Street in an industrial part of St. Charles. General Mills said it was also closing 2 plants in Joplin. The company said all 3 will be closed by early next summer. This look at the markets is brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturdays from 9 to 11 a.m. Wall Street at the close today, Dow Jones up 238 points to 46,758. S&P 500 is up half a point to 6,715. The NASDAQ down 63 points to 22,780. Now let's check sports and traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
Sobe Mizzou football is on their bye week tomorrow, but they'll be paying attention to the Alabama-Vanderbilt game in Tuscaloosa. The Tigers get the Crimson Tide next Saturday morning here on KTRS in what could be one of the most consequential games in Mizzou program history. And St. Louis City SC travels to Austin FC for their final road tilt of the year tomorrow night. City will be without Cedric Teuchert and possibly Edward Lubin, who was away from the club for personal reasons earlier this week. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. Southbound 270 is congested from Manchester down to 44. Southbound 55 is stop and go at Gasconade and remains heavy to 4500 South Broadway. And westbound 64 is heavy in front of Forest Park and in Lake St. Louis. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. KTRS weather tonight, clear, overnight low of 65. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 85. And same on Sunday, sunny, high of 85. Currently, it's 87 degrees under sunny skies. The time is 4:08. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for Friday, October 3rd, 2025. Josh and Bob here. Heidi out on vacation until Tuesday. Cracker Barrel has fired the marketing gurus behind their recent rebrand disaster, Bob.
Well, they said they had, 3 different companies
had
involved?
Had their fingers in this.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is, and what our expert, when we had him on, told us, did they ever give this to a focus group to say, hey, you guys go to Cracker Barrel. What do you think if we get rid of the old man? What do you think if we paint the shelves white instead of brown? What do you think if we clean up the,
I get it.
The move is being accompanied by changes to the restaurant chain's leadership as well, according to Wall Street Journal reports. The termination marks a premature end to a deal struck in 2024 that had been due to run for 3 years with this marketing agency. So this will be the end of that.
Have you ever been a part of a focus group, Josh, or maybe seen one be run?
I have, and it was
What's it like?
It was good money, and then
They're not very helpful to in many cases.
I gotta imagine when you're Cracker Barrel or whoever, and you hire a focus group, you probably hang on the things you want to hear.
You can hire focus group after focus group. They'll tell you different things.
Yeah.
But then why are you even hiring the focus groups?
Right. I think you want to get rid of the old guy in the logo, and you listen to the 2 voices that say, yeah, get rid of them. And you don't listen to the 9 voices that say, if you...
But even if there's 9 voices, maybe that's the 9 voices that wanted it gone.
Yeah.
And there's no way to know.
It's too small of a sample size.
Exactly. And it's like movies do this a lot. They used to do it even more.
Yeah.
Test audiences. Well, what'd you think? And if they didn't like it, they would change
the ending.
And you hear about these changes. Like, why would you ever do that? Well, the test audience didn't like the original. Well, who cares? Like,
it didn't test well.
It didn't test well. Okay.
Yeah. With 3 to 14-year-olds. Bob, what do you got over there?
Well, I got a couple things. One, just touching on it because it really gets deep into the weeds, but I'm only bringing it up because of things we've been talking about here with the AI center, data centers out of St. Charles, downtown at the Armory. What's going to happen? Meta builds an AI center the size of 70 football fields. 70. Residents near similar facilities say, quote, they're scared to drink our own water. Massive AI centers being built in rural Louisiana by Meta, but residents in Georgia say they've been having to navigate a poor water supply since construction on that giant facility began in 2018. Meta's promised 500 new jobs that'll be created and plans to be water positive. Why would you even have to bring that up?
Water positive.
Why do you have to bring that up? That just tells you there's a problem from the get-go, does it not?
Yeah.
So we'll see how that thing works out, but keep an eye on that one as they are trying to build a giant facility, because we were saying even here, and whether it's out in St. Charles, people disagree, but in the middle of nowhere, yeah, that's where you should build them. Well, a lot of middle of nowheres, there are people.
There are people still there. It's in the middle of nowhere, but there's still people there. I think they should build them into the side of the mountains, like NORAD. You know?
What mountains?
I don't know.
Not the ones I want to go to.
Pick one.
No.
You'll never even know it's there. There'll just be a big metal door, big enough to bring the machinery
So
in.
the trout are floating upside down the river.
Well,
Throw them out in the desert. There's plenty of water.
put them out in the desert. Yeah.
My thing, and I sent this to McGraw, it was an article in Bloomberg, and I just pulled it back up to get the number right. Electricity around these data centers cost 267% more than it did 5 years ago.
Yep. See, that's what I don't want is for my the cost to turn my light switch on just went up because Meta needs to
2.5 times.
And in this
to do AI.
In this article, Zuckerberg, his deal, basically his company pays for half of their power that they need, but then the consumers have to pay for the rest of it.
No, I'm not on board.
Right.
I'm not on board.
Here's something that's different and first ever female Archbishop of Canterbury has been appointed after 1,428 years. Archbishop of Canterbury, the first female. She's been named, she's the first woman to hold the key position in the Church of England. She's married, mother of 2. She's 63 years old. She was appointed 11 months after Justin Welby resigned and under scandalous issues. But it's interesting. It'll be announced that she'll take over, first woman since the position was created for St. Augustine in the year of 597.
Wow. Archbishop of Canterbury. Of Canterbury.
You like the royals and everything over there. So now you got a new archbishop.
First female. And since you did a second one, I got a second one for you as well. Nearly a year after voters approved a new tax on Airbnb-style rentals, these short-term rentals in the city of St. Louis, meant to help build affordable housing, the city cannot collect the taxes. Why? Reason is simple. The aldermen didn't pass a second bill authorizing collection.
I don't understand.
Well, I guess if you live in the city, you voted on a tax on Airbnb-style rentals, and the money would go to building affordable housing. Well, the aldermen didn't set up a process to collect the taxes.
The taxes.
Somebody's got to
Airbnb.
Somebody's got to collect them, I guess.
There's got to be a process for it.
There's got to be a process. The Prop S ordinance does not direct the license collector to collect the fee, says a July 14th internal memo prepared by a city attorney.
Well, that's easily fixable, or is
it
it not?
It feels like a rather easy fix.
In
fact, this feels like almost like a borderline how do you even take that to court and argue that passing the law about the tax does not
authorizing immediately
said tax.
Authorize the collection of it?
We just passed this tax. What do you mean we need to authorize the collection of the tax is the tax?
Yeah.
Well, we need a process to process the process.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Well, best laid plans of mice and men. You forgot to
AFTGO-ARE.
Yeah, exactly. You forgot to set up the process. All right, it is 4:16. When we come back from commercial break, we'll talk to Mike Ward on wine. It'll be Ward on bourbon today. He'll be calling in live from the St. Louis Bourbon Festival at Limp Mansion. We'll see if he's seen any paintings while he's been there.
Are you looking for a simple, clean, budget-friendly, no surprises, no gimmicks remodel of your bathroom? Michael's Baths is who you call. Right now, when you call Michael's Baths at 636-775-0800, you'll get an estimate that's 30 to 50% less of everybody else, and they'll throw in a free shower door or $500 off a bath remodel. Michael's Baths, for 30-plus years, guaranteed happiness. MichaelsBaths.com.
If you're looking for your next home, think of First Community. Our Smart Choice Home Loan offers a 30-year fixed rate of just 6.531% APR to qualified borrowers, and you only need a down payment of 10%. Whether it's your first home, your forever home, or even a vacation home, be smart with a Smart Choice loan from First Community for all your savings and all your loans. Must qualify for membership. For terms and conditions, call toll-free 1-888-642-7969. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Kids don't always like to get school report cards, but they are important and helpful. They document subjects where they're strong and others where they need to show some improvement. Ever wonder why you don't get a report on how your child's school compares to others? At the Show Me Institute, we think you should, and that's why we've started the Missouri School Rankings Project. Click on the website moschoolrankings.org, and it's all there. Rankings and letter grades for all the schools in Missouri. The rankings are based on several categories, such as student performance in English, language arts, and math, ACT scores, and graduation rates. Then we take the rankings and come up with a grade point average, just like your child has. Each school and district will have a grade, and the website is easy to use. Don't you want to know how your child's school stacks up? Now you can. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Hi, it's Jill Farmer. This note came in on our text line recently on the Frank and Jill show. You need to know that Ryan Raphael helped me with my senior insurance plan. He was such a gentleman, so helpful, knowledgeable, and kind. I can't thank him enough, and I heard about him on KTRS. I love that text because Ryan Raphael is the Medicare man. He's absolutely the best person to call to help you through the often confusing process of finding the right Medicare plan for you. He loves helping people, walking them through the overwhelm of, I don't know how to choose the best plan for me, or I did choose a plan based on the recommendation of a well-meaning friend or family member, and now I don't think it's actually the right one for me. Ryan Raphael is the best at matching you with a plan that lets you keep your own physicians and keep your prescriptions. It's like having the highest quality consultant on your team. The best news, it's free to you. Under the law, his fees are paid by the insurance companies. Go to MedicareManSTL.com or call 314-368-6808. That's Ryan Raphael's cell phone number just for you.
Ever wonder what the KTRS Air personalities look like?
Well, now you can.
Now streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Sitting at home or at the office, you can now watch the Big 550 live. Just find the Big 550 KTRS on Facebook or 550 KTRS TV on YouTube. 2 ways you can see the hosts in all their on-air glory. We are live, local, and the talk of St. Louis. We are the Big 550 KTRS. Depend on it.
Hi, I'm Mike Vitale from Vitale's Bakery on a Hill. Our family runs a bakery and a retail store started by our parents, Pete and Grace Vitale, in 1976. Vitale's Bakery makes the finest Italian bread and pastries, including our mom's legendary Giugiulana seed cookies and her famous meat sauce.
And don't forget our pizza crust.
We also carry customers' favorites like lemon ice. Come taste our Italian heritage today at the corner of Bischoff and Marconi. Vitale's Bakery on a Hill, where you're not a customer, you're family.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in concert with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. Relive the adventure of Harry and his friends as the SLSO performs John Williams' unforgettable score with the full movie on the big screen. Don't miss this magical live concert event of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in concert. October 3rd through 5th with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. Tickets at slso.org.
Samano and Jill Farmer,
weekdays 10 to noon.
Right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Well, it's Ward on Wine, and this week it's going to be Ward on Whiskey, bourbon at least, specifically. Kentucky-based brand Jefferson's is the spotlight today, but Mike Ward not in studio. He's calling to us live from the Limp Mansion. It's the St. Louis Bourbon Festival. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how are you? I am standing outside of the Limp Mansion right now. I'm going to be set up right across the street from it, and I'm looking at all the windows to see if I can see any ghostly figures looking out at me. I don't see any yet.
Now, we had somebody call in. She used to be an actress at the dinner theater there, and she had a couple of spooky stories. So, yeah, please keep your eyes peeled for, any floating bottles of bourbon.
Yeah, and you know what? If you come to my table with a ghost, I'll give you an extra pour.
There you go. That? Yeah, one for you and one for your friend there. So what is the St. Louis Bourbon Festival?
This is a great event. So 1,600 people are going to be down here. I just talked to the event organizers, And the event is sold out. So if you already have tickets and you're coming down, come and see me at booth or tent 3, and I'll be pouring Jefferson's whiskey. There's several hundred whiskeys down here, all the best from Kentucky, all over the state of Missouri, and other places in the U.S., and it's just going to be a fun event.
And we've got Jefferson's, and we've had them on the show before, but I'm looking at the list of what you sent over a list of all the things that Jefferson's offer. Will you have all of these down there at the event tonight?
Yes, I have all of the current Jefferson's whiskeys that we have in stock in Missouri at my table, from the regular reserve to the Jefferson's Ocean, and some of the more allocated whiskeys. And, Jefferson's is all about not only making the best Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, but then also experimenting with the best ways to age those barrels, like the Jefferson's Ocean, which is aging on the top deck of the ship.
Yeah, that's amazing, and you've talked about that before on the show. But real quick, a little thumbnail sketch of what that means and why it's important for that particular flavor.
Well, whiskey is all about aging in a barrel. Bourbon whiskey has to be aged in a charred, new, white American oak barrel. Most of that oak comes from Missouri, much of it. I like to say the best oak comes from Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And the whiskey's going to spend its life soaking into the sides of the barrels, coming out, depending on temperature changes. When you have it on a boat that crosses the equator 4 times and goes to some places that are more humid or more wet or colder, that whiskey's really going to speed up that aging process and bring in some, I know this is going to sound strange to say, bring in some like tropical and sea salt type of aromas and flavors to it that wouldn't normally be there if it was just sitting in the barrel in Kentucky.
Well, I got to ask you this, because I'm on the website right now, jeffersonsbourbon.com. I entered my birth year to make it all legal. And let's see, if you click on voyages, it'll give you all 29 voyages and a captain's log of how the trip was. In Jefferson's Ocean Voyage 27, embarked from Savannah, Georgia, slight seas, Panama Canal, Tahiti, going around the Horn of Australia, up to Singapore, back to Japan, Tacoma, Washington, and finished in Long Beach. And then they go back through the canal. This is amazing. What is this boat doing aside from rocking back and forth the whiskey? Is this? Yeah, go ahead.
What I've been told is the boats, or at least some of them, originally were tracking whale migration. So they are, there's people
you're gonna
on board.
you're gonna be out there anyway. Might as well strap some whiskey casks on the top deck, right?
Right. And let's make sure we're clear now. The bourbon has already qualified to be a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So this is what they're doing after the fact to finish off that, like a secondary aging process. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what does it do in the barrels back home in Kentucky? Are they rotating them and rocking them back and forth, or is this something completely new?
The typical way a bourbon barrel would be aged would be to put in a rack house at a different level and left there for 4, 6, 8 years, depending on how long they want to age that particular barrel.
Completely
and really leave
untouched.
It alone.
Completely untouched. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Trey Zoller, the owner of Jefferson's, he likes to do things a little bit different and experiment in different ways.
So, Mike, let's get back to the Bourbon Festival and tell me about Jefferson's. So if somebody walks up, hey, Mike, I've never had Jefferson's. I've heard you guys talking about it. There's all these different styles and flavors. And where would you have somebody begin with a taste test?
So first of all, I'm going to see if they're familiar with Jefferson's. And if they're not, I'm going to give them a little background on it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go directly to the Jefferson's Ocean. I would have them try the Jefferson's Reserve, which is made from limited barrels that stay in Kentucky. And then I would bring them up to the small batch, and then I'd bring them over to the Jefferson's Ocean so that they could really see and experience the differences as they taste through all of the whiskeys.
I like it because you can stand there and, Mike always brings a lot of this stuff in and he says, well, when you taste test it, you can do, but, we're on the radio. I don't even know if it's legal to drink while you're have a microphone in front of you. But we have to take this stuff home and do it ourselves with the Bourbon Festival. Mike can tell you all these things and you can stand there and taste it and see, he could say, do you notice any salty notes? And you could take a sip and say, you know what, I kind of do. Or maybe my palate needs a little refining because I don't taste it. But that's the benefit, I think, of going to one of these festivals. Jefferson's is so interesting, Mike. I always say this. We ask you where this stuff comes from. Wine has great stories. Bourbon has great stories. I love to have a story behind my drink. Because it just makes me feel like, I'm not just drinking whatever came off the shelf. I'm drinking something that's got a story behind it.
What I love to talk about with many of the products, wine, beer, whiskey that we talk about, there's a family connection. There's history. Trey Zoller and his dad starting this distillery at a time, in the 1980s when bourbon was not nearly as popular as it is today. So you can make that family connection. And then bring it into modern time. This is what's happening now. So that's the fun part of my job, history, geography, talking about families. It really does kind of bring everything around.
And then you look at Jefferson's Tropics, aged in humidity. What's this?
So that will go on a voyage, but it'll stay in one location, in a tropical location. Instead of really experiencing all that fluctuation, it's going to stay in the tropics and experience what that even temperature is going to do to the whiskey. Might take it a little bit longer to age, but it is a different experience than the ocean.
And you're looking at the bottles, the bourbon and the reserve are a little lighter in color. The ocean and the tropics are darker in color. What leads to that?
So all color comes from the barrel and the level of toast on the barrel, so how long they cook the inside of the barrel, but it also comes from oxygen. So, dependent on the amount of, and remember, oak barrels are designed to bring air in, but not to let liquid out. So these are going to have a little bit more air contact, and that air oxidation is going to give it a little bit more of a golden, dark, browner color. You really see it in the whiskey side by side.
And then I said I like a good story behind my drink. Jefferson's Marion McLean blended bourbon whiskey. What's the story behind this?
So, the Marion McLean, which honors a family member of Trey Zoller's and his dad. And it really, think of it this way, as hand-selected barrels that he picks out. So a limited amount of barrels. So that means far less whiskey made. And it's more of that personal connection, more of that family connection. We get a handful of this in Missouri. We get I'm not sure, a couple of 6-packs of it. And I've got it down here. Come and see me. If you're coming to the Bourbon Festival, hang out at my table and we'll try them all.
And the story behind the Marion McLean, she was a 8th-generation grandmother of the Zollers who was arrested, Bob, in 1799 for illegally distilling whiskey. Yeah. So I'd like to have a drink with her. When we come down,
that was way before Prohibition, so people were, kind of handling whiskey back then in a little bit of a different way.
Just I keep thinking of who's the grandma from the Beverly Hillbillies?
Granny.
Granny distilling whiskey, and somebody comes up, she just throws a blanket over it. So
exactly.
Again, a great story behind your drink. Jefferson's Reserve cask strength. You've got the very small batch straight bourbon. You've got the very old, very small batch reserve. And these are all things that you can try down at the St. Louis Bourbon Festival at the Lemp Mansion today. Sold out, but Mike, what happens if I want to get my hands on some of these?
Well, they're available in any retail store, any Schnucks, Deerbergs, Randall's, Total Wine, anywhere you go. And you can also email me, mike@wardonwine.com. The Mary McLean might be a little harder to find. but some of the others you can find anywhere and taste them this weekend. Just really quickly, that cask strength, let me kind of clarify that. So when the bourbon is finished aging, it has a certain proof, usually a higher proof than most distillers want to see it, and they'll bring that proof down with a little bit of water. And in this case, it's going to come out of that barrel with whatever proof it created through evaporation inside of the barrel. So it's a little stronger experience.
And can you buy down there if I show up to the event? Say I had a ticket and I said, "Boy, this Mary McLean is good," or "This Ocean's really good." Can I buy a bottle and take it home with me?
There is a limited amount of vendors who are able to sell here in another location. I don't think I'm one of them. Somebody else kind of set this event up for me, but certainly, if you come down and taste my whiskeys, we can find out where to get them. And then there is a booth set up where you can take some things home with you.
And the last thing I'm curious about, like I said, I'm on the website right now, jeffersonsbourbon.com. You can click on Voyages for this ocean. This is where they strap a bunch of casks of bourbon on the top of a ship and sail it around most of the United States. Will each bottle tell me which voyage it went on?
It absolutely will. And then you can look up your voyage and get more information about the actual voyage. So they're great at providing that education in each of the bottles, more personal experience, and have some fun with it. I think most people that like that whiskey, that's what they do. They want to hear more about it, the journey of their whiskey.
Yeah, and it's really cool. And like I said, they tell you where it goes, but they also tell you what the seas were like while it was out there. Rough seas in between Tahiti and Tacoma.
Seas were angry that day, my friend.
Which, right. Yeah, which made my bourbon taste just a little bit better. Mike Ward, Ward on Wine. Today it's Ward on Bourbon, Ward on Whiskey, specifically the Jefferson's Bourbon, pouring down there at the St. Louis Bourbon Festival at the Limp Mansion. Mike, have a good event. Say hi to all the listeners that happen to show up. And if you see a ghost, snap a picture because we really want to see it.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Captain Paul Kopsky, do you believe in ghosts?
I actually do. I believe in the afterlife and in ghosts.
Have you
My
ever?
sister's had some encounters.
I was going to say, do you have any encounter stories? The encounter stories is what always gets me. What was her stories, if you don't mind?
Well, she has a lot of them. I can't think of like one right offhand, but she always has feelings when she goes into a certain house, and I will ask her, so do you feel anything? And one time we stayed at a house that used to be a funeral home, and she said it was just filled with ghosts.
It was
People are dying to get in there.
Yeah,
that's right.
Boy.
And we had to sleep overnight there 2 nights.
At the old funeral home? Was it a working funeral home at the time, Paul, or was this a bed and breakfast?
No, it was a neighbor of my uncle that let us stay there for a funeral, and so we got to spend a couple nights there, and it was kind of freaky.
We don't have bed and breakfast. We have bed and burial.
Yeah. Well, all the hotels are booked, but you could stay at the funeral home. I'll sleep in my car.
It was creepy, for sure.
Well, I'll say. See, if you can't remember some of those other stories, though, Paul, we're really enjoying it today. It's officially, it's October 3rd, so we're officially in the spooky season. But speaking of cars, how are the roads looking?
Josh, an accident on eastbound 70 at Pierce in Wentzville is causing a stop and go back up to Hochul Parkway. There's a crash on eastbound 70 at 141. Southbound 270 is congested around 44. Eastbound 70 bogs down approaching the depressed section. Southbound 55 is running slow from Potomac to 4500 South Broadway, where it's almost bumper to bumper. And westbound 64 is congested in front of Forest Park and in Lake St. Louis. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, KTRS weather from the John Beal Roofing Weather Desk.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Any slight chance for a spot shower, thunder shower ends this evening, and then clearing skies, another warm one for the weekend. Plenty of sunshine and dry weather both days as well. We wake up to 66 Saturday morning. That's mild early on, and then heats up quickly for a warm to hot afternoon, a high of 87 degrees under sunny skies. Little breeze at 10 to 15 miles per hour to the south will help. Sunday, sunny skies, a little breeze, and a high of 87 again. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing is the home of the lowest price roofing guarantee. Get a free estimate today at johnbealroofing.com.
It's the half price sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress going on now through October 14th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save half off our list price on all in-stock items. Plus, half off custom orders from Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more.
And get 12 months financing, no interest, no minimum purchase. See our fully stocked Flex Steel galleries in the area's largest selection of Amish-made furniture. Plus, up to 75% off the list price on our outdoor furniture.
Sleep better and save big. Right now, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of any Chatham & Wells mattress. Plus, half price on select floor model mattresses from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Spring Air.
Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville and save on over $8 million of inventory. You'll see why we were voted the Retailer of the Year by the Home Furnishings Association.
Don't miss the half-price sale at Miller Furniture now through October 14th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Let's talk about a getaway where you're not spending all the time on the road. How about Innsbruck? Think about it. You could go from your desk to a canoe and do some fishing in about 25, 30 minutes. They've got A-frames, they got tree houses, or if you're looking for a place to live that's away from hustle and bustle, custom homes and condos as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have you been out? Have you looked? Go to Innsbruck-resort.com to find your getaway.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Dan Lang. Join me every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3 on the Big 550 for Animal Talk, where I talk about everything regarding dogs, cats, and other domestic animals. Topics include nutrition, training, medical checkups, special guests show up now and then, and of course, I'll answer your questions. So join me every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3 for Animal Talk on the Big 550 KTRS, the Animal Talk of St. Louis.
Hey there, it's Julie Buck, and I'm here with Jeff Zufall. He's the Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group. He's also the author of the #1 best-selling book on the new tax laws. It's called Keep What's Yours. Jeff, this October, what do we need to know?
Julie, October is officially Financial Planning Month. The One Beautiful Bill Act locked in many of the tax laws set to revert back to the 2017 rules. But there were also changes to the tax code in this law, and we can help. Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax strategies offered by Capital Advisory Group to help them reduce their future tax liability and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you're paying more than your fair share, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax rules.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call, 636-394-5524. Online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
We're going to talk to Brendan Weesey here in just a few minutes to get a little weekend sports update. Mizzou's not playing this weekend, but other SEC teams are, and Illinois is playing as well. So we'll find out what the college football landscape looks like.
And Lindenwood is playing at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Home game?
Against Tennessee Martin.
Is it homecoming?
No, this is it's some kind of special education game, something or other. Homecoming's later.
Okay. But you've been on the road quite a bit, so it's good to see.
Bunch of home games.
Yeah, Lindenwood's back home for the weekend and looks to stay here for a couple of weeks at least.
Yeah.
I got a couple stories on my desk. Speaking of Ward on Wine, here's a story about beer. Japan could run out of its favorite beer, Asahi Super Dry Lager, within 2 days after a cyber attack hit its brewer.
Oh, no.
The largest brewer in the country has seen its ordering and delivery systems affected after they went dark. They stated they were unable to provide a clear timeline for recovery and was attempting to manage using manual order processing and shipment, the old-fashioned way. Yeah. So caused 30 factories in Japan to grind to a halt because they got hit with a cyber attack.
That's just cruel and unusual.
And it's their favorite beer, Asahi. Maybe I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, but Asahi Super Dry Lager. So if you've got
That's no good.
If you got some in the fridge, tell your Japanese friends. Maybe you can send it to them. I just got this message because I am a season ticket holder with the Battlehawks. Probably won't be next year because I only went to one game. So I don't really necessarily think I got my money's worth. But they say the UFL is committed to delivering the most accessible and innovative football experience every spring. However, after looking at what we've got going on, we are departing from the Memphis, Michigan, and San Antonio markets. Fortunately, they say the stadium options currently available in these areas do not align with our vision, whatever that means, as we look ahead to a potential expansion in 2028. If you are a fledgling league, and they've done this 3 or 4 times, they keep cycling which markets they're in. I guess maybe to try to find the sweet spot.
Well, they got to find a deal. They got to find the right size.
But how do you establish a foothold with? I mean, if the teams every year are different, aside from maybe St. Louis and Arlington, Texas, how do you establish a real fan base?
Well, maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe they hadn't established a fan base.
And so they're just pulling up anchor and saying bye-bye Memphis.
Well, what would you do? You don't want to pour good money after bad.
It's true, but you can't really establish a league if every year the teams change. I don't know. And let's see here. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups tops the National Halloween Candy Rankings again. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is first place among Halloween candy voters.
Can't go wrong.
Really can't. What is your favorite Halloween candy? I'll tell you if it placed in the top 10.
You already named it.
Reese's. Connor?
I always like I like a sour candy.
Oh.
Sour Patch Kids.
Say Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
7th place.
That's good.
7th place.
What Sour Patch Kids? Just the blue ones.
Oh,
they
all
sell
blue.
those now.
Yeah, those are the blue's the best.
Is that right?
Now we're talking.
Blue and red are the best. Here's the top 10. Airheads, number 10. Kit Kat, Twix, Sour Patch Kids at 7th. Nerds, Skittles, Snickers, 6, 5, and 4. In the top 3, Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar, which I think is boring.
Oh, come on. That can't be in the top 3.
It's just chocolate.
Yeah.
Boring.
What's its number?
3.
3. Yeah,
Second
I like
place, M&M's. Again, a little boring.
No, you get the variation: peanut M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms, pretzel M&Ms.
This just says M&M's, which I'm
counting
assuming
them all.
means
I'm
plain.
counting them all together.
I love a good peanut butter M&M. But you go to the
It's just Reese's.
You go to the checkout at Walgreens, and they've got coconut, they've got pretzel, they've got, Reese's is doing this too. They've got a big cup stuffed with potato chips. Have you seen that?
No.
Or the lava cups.
Have you seen the Oreo one?
No.
They have an Oreo Reese's crossover.
Oh, I did. I saw
I saw it on TV,
I saw the
but
commercial
yeah.
yesterday. And then Reese's, they got a Reese's big cup, and they stuff it full of Reese's pieces. So it's like,
double your pleasure.
stuffing Reese's inside other Reese's.
That seems incestuous somehow.
It's somewhat redundant, right? I mean, putting potato chips in, I get that. But just putting Reese's in,
Cannibalizing.
yeah. We'll go to commercial break in just a second, but I mentioned at the checkout at Walgreens, I'm standing there the other day, and I look over and I see something new. I've heard about this, freeze-dried Skittles.
I've seen them.
Never heard of it.
I don't know what it is. It looks like Skittles, but they kind of exploded in the middle, and I'm like, ooh, this is interesting.
So you bought them?
I'm interested.
So you bought them?
So I reach for the bag, but I see the sticker price. $8.99 for a bag of Skittles. It wasn't like a big,
family size.
Family size. It was a bag of Skittles, and it was $8.99.
You'll have to just live with the mystery.
Well, that's what I sent it to the family thread. I said, what is this? $8.99 for a bag of Skittles? And my sister said, well, they're not so good. They're not even that great. And I said, well, I'll never know because I'm not paying that. You got to make 6 figures now just to buy the candy. It is 4:48. We'll go to commercial break. When we come back, we'll do traffic and talk to Brendan Weesey, sports director. Or we'll just go to traffic now. Captain, you got any more ghost stories for us?
Oh, well, I did have a relative, or do have relatives, that had a house where it was haunted. And what happened one time, my cousin was alone in the house downstairs, and she heard a bunch of furniture being thrown around upstairs and people walking around. And there was nobody in the house but her. And so...
Whoa.
I like that. I kind of had an experience like that. I heard something fall upstairs. And I went upstairs and nobody was there. Whoa. Woo. Bob, do that noise that you always do. There we go. How are the roads looking, Cap?
Well, Josh, an accident on eastbound 70 at Pierce in Wentzville is causing a stop and go back up to Hokel Parkway. There's a crash on eastbound 70 at 141, but it's not causing a slowdown. Southbound 270 is congested around 44. Eastbound 70 bogs down approaching the depressed section. Southbound 55 is running slow from Potomac to South Broadway. Eastbound 64 is busy around 170. And westbound 64 is just a little slow at Hampton and in Lake St. Louis. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
How do you separate estate planning from elder law? You don't, because they're so intertwined. Let's face it, we're all getting older, and you need to make these decisions today, whether it's for your parents, for yourself, or for future generations. Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Carolyn Stolzer have been navigating these important decisions for more than 50 years. Beck, Lennox, Stolzer, Estate Planning, and Elder Law. Call them, 636-946-7899 or beckelderlaw.com. You can thank me later.
Health insurance can feel complicated, but Medica health plans are different. See, we're nonprofit, which means people first, not shareholders. And we're right here in St. Louis with affordable plans for local care you trust. Your doctors, your hospitals, to help you feel your best. With Medica, your health coverage can feel a bit simpler. And now, we're here for you. Medica Health Plans. You're not just covered, you're cared for.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Everybody loves good barbecue, and everybody wants to know where the next great barbecue place is. And if you're looking for an overnight sensation, it's only taken them 10 years. Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery, Woods Mill and Clayton Road. There is a gas station, West County Phillips 66 gas station. In that gas station, in the back, for 10 years, some of the best barbecue in town. Bring a friend and spread the word. Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Don't forget about the bakery, 3baybarbecueandbakery.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, you know what that sound means, and it is Brendan Weesey. We've got no Mizzou football this week, but that doesn't mean that all the other teams aren't fighting it out. Illinois is playing Purdue. What do you see there?
Well, we've looked at this game a little bit here the last couple of days. Josh, we'll talk about it tonight on the James Carlton State Farm Game Plan Show. It's, put Illinois on mild upset alert. In fact, I think a couple of our guys, both Mike Palm and Eli Hoff, kind of targeted that game as some upset potential. Let's not forget Barry Odom is now the coach
Yeah.
there at Purdue.
At Purdue, I was going to say the coaching carousel. Sometimes you sneaky will find out a coach is now at a competing school or a school you didn't think about.
Absolutely.
I see the number at 8.5, and I'm taking Illinois.
Yeah,
It's a little scary though.
It's on the road, and it's for Illinois, it's been look at the roller coaster, Rammer, they've been on.
Yeah.
Blown out by Indiana on the road. They come back, emotional win against Southern Cal last Saturday to kind of get them back in the mix. It's a sandwich game as well, Rammer, because you know who's up next. They get the Buckeyes at home next week. So much like Mizzou in this position where it feels like this potential program-altering game next week against Alabama, Illinois is going to be in that same situation. The rest of their schedule really sets up nice, and I think their playoff chances were really hurt by that Indiana game. But if they beat Ohio State next week, that all changes.
Well, Brendan, remember
They've got to take care of Purdue tomorrow.
Yeah, take first games first. But remember that sweetheart season. Speaking of Indiana having a sweetheart season last year, and then they head into play Ohio State, and they just get absolutely steamrolled. So you talk about Illinois, and they're ranked number 22, and they stumbled against Indiana, but hey, they got Ohio State. Sometimes you could really tell the big boys are leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. Speaking of big boys, Alabama takes on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt ranked 16, Alabama number 10. Last year, Vanderbilt beat Alabama. They head to Tuscaloosa. Game day is there. Both of these teams on Mizzou's upcoming schedule.
Exactly. I don't know if you're a Tiger fan. You probably want to see Alabama win because they'd be locked in the top 10 for next week. But in the off chance Vanderbilt wins tomorrow, and you start to look ahead, what about the possibilities of undefeated Mizzou and undefeated Vanderbilt in Nashville in a few weeks?
Oh, doctor.
Not out of the realm of possibility. And it would, Rammer, in a way, it would almost feel like when Mizzou played Kansas all those years ago in the top 5 battle at Arrowhead, where it's like it's the game of the year, but wait a minute, it's these two teams?
Who are these guys? Yeah.
You could get, I mean, it's a long shot, but if Mizzou and Vanderbilt are both undefeated in a couple of weeks in Nashville, they're easily both in the top 10. Vanderbilt might be in the top 5 by that point, but they've got a lot of work to do. Again, we're jumping ahead a little bit. It's going to be that. It's the game of the day tomorrow, and Josh, you said it. Vanderbilt stunned the Crimson Tide last year, so Alabama with revenge on their minds. But Diego Pavia, the quarterback that just seems to never graduate, maybe he's got another year of eligibility up his sleeve. Nobody really knows. But he's absolutely a Heisman contender right now. If he leads his Commodores to a win, he'd jump on top of my board. It'll be the 3rd or 4th year I voted on the Heisman, and I've certainly got Pavia, along with the Indiana quarterback, and, of course, Ahmad Hardy, all probably in my top 5 right now. Pavia's got a chance at a statement, though, without a doubt, tomorrow.
So those are the big games to watch. Illinois at 11 and Vandy, Alabama at 2:30. We'll see if Vandy can do it 2 years in a row.
And Brendan, at 1 o'clock, the alma mater goes against UT Martin. We talked about it before you came on, and that should be a good one. In fact, it's weird. Lindenwood Dogs at home. UT Martin comes in with not a very good record, but they played UTEP, Southern Illinois, and Missouri State. And they've got a terrific quarterback, so it ought to be a good one. I hope folks come out.
And, Ramber, to think of all the home games Mizzou has played so far, it's just the second home game for Lindenwood so far, right?
Crazy schedule.
Yeah, Bob's been on the road quite a bit lately. So that is the college football landscape, but I have heard multiple times around this office the last few days this phrase. Hey, did you know that the Blues start next week?
Yeah.
Skate, boys, skate.
Are we learning anything in preseason?
Oh, they finally scored a bunch of goals last night, so that was good. You get a win. I mean, exhibition hockey, there's a hierarchy of pointless results in sports. Preseason hockey might be at the very, very tip top of that list. And because it's so fast, you go from camp. I mean, camp is like 36 hours old, and they're playing exhibition games. So they've been playing for a few weeks now. You finally get a win. But you said it. You start to play for real next week. And I think there's a bit of a vibe. There'll be a vibe around this team. There's more expectations than there have been the last few years. You've got Cam Fowler now back and locked up. He was that real key. He felt like if there was an X factor last year, he was that guy that you brought in not mid-season, but early in the season via trade, and he absolutely exceeded expectations upon his arrival. So great to have him back in the fold. It's a long year, and there's so many other things going on. But I feel like the Blues, right now you kind of compete with Mizzou because City SC, they're just about done. The Cardinals, again, aren't in the playoffs. So the Blues can kind of have their way of the place here for a while, and it all starts next week.
Thursday, October 9th, it's a home opener for the St. Louis Blues and the NHL, and that is next week. They play the Minnesota Wild. They bring the Wild into the Enterprise Center. So we'll get Brendan back on the show next Friday to see how the Blues did. And in the meantime, we'll just keep watching Mizzou and see how long we can make this magical season last. Brendan, thanks so much, and we'll listen to you tonight.
You got it, Josh Rammer. Thank you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts, or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The Big 550.
KTRS, St. Louis.
I'm Michelle Franzen. President Trump, in a statement, says he believes Hamas is ready for lasting peace following Hamas's announcement that it accepts parts of the U.S. Gaza ceasefire proposal, including the release of hostages, but with conditions. ABC's Ian Pannell has more.
Glass half empty is this is Hamas kicking the can down the road, is trying to shift the goalpost by saying, well, we'll agree to this, which wasn't even mentioned in the first place, but we need to discuss that. Again, negotiations were not envisaged in President Trump's 20-point peace plan. The positive side is, well, it appears to be a positive statement. They're looking forward to an end to the war, to the release of all the hostages, which is clearly a key demand for President Trump, as well as Prime Minister Netanyahu.
President Trump in the statement also calling on Israel to immediately stop the bombing in Gaza, he says, so they can get the hostages out safely and quickly. More than 750,000 furloughed federal workers remain in limbo, with the government shutdown now extending into next week. The Senate failing to pass a stopgap measure to fund the government. Democrats say they're fighting to preserve health care benefits and Medicaid. ABC's Karen Travers says the Trump administration is now eyeing permanent layoffs.
The timing of the firings is still unclear. The White House was asked that today, and the press secretary Caroline Leavitt said that the budget office and the director Russ Vought are meeting with cabinet secretaries and talking to departments and agencies about what could come next in terms of cuts. That's a different message, though, than what we heard from her just 2 days ago when she said these federal firings could be imminent and would happen within the next couple of days.
Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. military carried out another strike on an alleged drug boat that left Venezuela. It comes after the president notified Congress in a memo obtained by ABC News that the U.S. is engaged in an armed conflict with drug cartels. You're listening to ABC News.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. The St. Louis County Department of Public Health has issued a public health alert over the increased cancer risk from Coldwater Creek. Health officials warn anyone who has lived, worked, or spent time in North St. Louis County around the creek is at greater risk of developing lung, kidney, colon, and breast cancers due to radiation exposure. Anyone who fits the criteria could be eligible for free cancer screenings and federal compensation under the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. Director Dr. Kanika Cunningham says the department is committed to ensuring those residents affected by radiation exposure are supported. Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush is throwing her hat back into the political arena. Bush released a video announcement this morning to launch her campaign for Missouri's 1st congressional district.
I'm running again because St. Louis deserves leadership that doesn't wait for permission, doesn't answer to wealthy donors, and doesn't hide when things get tough.
Bush lost the Democratic primary in August of 2025 to Wesley Bell. The full St. Louis Board of Aldermen is expected to vote today on a resolution that would establish a stricter review process for new data center projects. An aldermanic committee approved the resolution on Wednesday with a vote of 5-1. The resolution, known as Resolution 111, works in tandem with Mayor Kara Spencer's Executive Order 92. Together, they mandate that data center developers answer more than 40 questions about their project specifics before they can move forward. Memorial ceremonies will be held this weekend to honor Missouri's fallen firefighters. The events will be held in Kingdom City on Saturday and Sunday, which Governor Mike Kehoe has declared as Missouri Fire Service Memorial Days. The Wentzville campus of the St. Charles Community College has a new center to help students enter the trade fields. A grand opening was held yesterday for the Regional Workforce Innovation Center. The center will cover robotics, supply chain, manufacturing, HVAC, and plumbing careers. And St. Louis's National Night Out will take place next Tuesday. Details from KTRS's Steve Potter.
It's all about promoting community safety between law enforcement and the public. In St. Louis, National Night Out will be held at a number of neighborhoods featuring all kinds of activities, food, and safety demonstrations. Those include events at the city's recreation centers. There will be a DJ and dance party and a visit from the St. Louis Fire Department at the 12th and Park Recreation Center on South Tucker. At the Marquette Rec Center on Minnesota, you'll find a bonfire and an outdoor movie. A gaming truck and bounce house will be at the center on Gamble Street, and it's outdoor games and dance performances at the Wohl Recreation Center on North Kings Highway. Organizers say that Tuesday's National Night Out in St. Louis is an effort to strengthen neighborhood spirit and assist with crime prevention by offering safe activities for young people. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Missouri is seeing an increase in the number of initial unemployment claims. The Missouri Department of Labor reports there were nearly 2,300 claims filed during the week ending on September 27th. That marks an increase of more than 160 claims from the previous week. And this look at the markets is brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. Wall Street at the close today, the Dow Jones up 238 points to 46,758. S&P 500 up half a point to finish at 6,715, and NASDAQ dropped 63 points to close at 22,780. Now let's check sports and traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
Sobe, Mizzou football is on their bye week tomorrow, but they'll be paying close attention to the Alabama-Vanderbilt game in Tuscaloosa. The Tigers get the Crimson Tide next Saturday morning here on KTRS in what could be one of the most consequential games in Mizzou program history. And St. Louis City 2 plays their regular season finale Sunday afternoon in Portland against the Timbers 2. City 2 has already clinched the league's best record and will be hosting a playoff game at Energizer Park in a few weeks. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. The latest is a crash on eastbound 70 at 370, blocking the two left lanes with a stop and go back up to Mid-Rivers Mall. There's a stalled vehicle on westbound 64 at Spirit of St. Louis Boulevard with traffic backed up to Long. Another stalled vehicle on southbound 270 at Doherty Ferry is blocking the 2 right lanes and has traffic jammed back to Manchester. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. KTRS weather tonight clear, overnight low of 65. Tomorrow sunny, high of 85. And again on Sunday, sunny, high of 85. Currently we have 88 degrees under sunny skies. The time is 5:08. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, last time we spoke with Brad Meltzer, it was earlier in the year. He had a book about JFK conspiracies, Bob. I remember we had a wonderful chat.
It was terrific.
And I look up, I'm watching Channel 4, I look up, and the Magic House has a new exhibit, a new thing going on there, tying in with a children's book. And guess who the author of the children's book is?
Lee Harvey Oswald?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good guess, though. Brad Meltzer.
Oh, Brad.
So we asked him to come back in. There's a partnership with the Magic House. It's called Hero Quest. It's tied into your book series, Ordinary People Change the World. Brad, how long have you been writing kids' books?
I've been writing for a decade. The funny thing is, I'm surprised we never spoke about it. We've spoken so often, but it's the same. We all have that love of history, and I was just tired of my kids looking at people who are famous on Instagram and thinking that that's a hero. And I said to them, that's being famous. Being famous is very different than being a hero. And I said to my daughter, I have a great hero for you. Her name is Amelia Earhart. And she flew across the Atlantic Ocean. Isn't that amazing? And my daughter said to me, big deal, Dad. Everyone flies across the Atlantic. She was not impressed at all. And then I told her this true story that when Amelia Earhart was 7 years old, she built a homemade roller coaster in her backyard. She took a wooden crate, and this is true, she put roller skating wheels in the bottom of it, and young 7-year-old Amelia Earhart shoved it to the roof of her tool shed, had 2 giant 2x4s that came down the side. She came flying through the air. The thing crashed, of course, but when her stomach bottomed out from under her, she loved that feeling. She wanted that feeling back again. And that's the first time Amelia Earhart ever flew. She was 7 years old. And I told my daughter that story, and she was like, tell it again.
That's
and so
great.
I started writing I'm Amelia Earhart. We did I Am Abraham Lincoln. I Am Rosa Parks. I Am Dr. King. The new ones are We Are the Beatles we just came out with. And we've done almost 40 books in the series. And I love the fact that people, they're little biographies with cartoon form for kids of all ages, but really kind of like, birth to like 12 years old to introduce these lessons to kids. And I love the fact that parents and grandparents now use our books to build libraries of real heroes for their kids and their grandkids, their nieces and their nephews.
It's funny, we just went to Union Station here in St. Louis. I brought my 4-year-old Brad, and they've got these new rides. The boat that swings back and forth? I took him on that, and he said, Daddy, that makes my stomach tingle. And I guess that was the first time that he ever felt that, too. Now he wants to fly across the Atlantic solo.
Listen, as long as it works. But and the key part of the story is there's a wonderful woman in the St. Louis community named Beth Fitzgerald, who is the president of the Magic House, and her grandson read our books. And she and I got to meet over the years, and they're just some of the nicest people on the planet. And they built, under Beth's incredible leadership, turned it into a museum exhibit called Hero Quest, where you can go on a scavenger hunt, and it's built out of our book series. And you'll see you get to put on Abraham Lincoln's top hat. You get to see Amelia Earhart's. I think they have her play goggles there. We have Dolly Parton because we did I Am Dolly Parton. They have Frida Kahlo, Jim Henson, and they have Muppets there. And it's just, the exhibit is spectacular. So I love Magic House. I love it even more when our Hero Quest and our Xavier Riddle exhibits are in there, and they're going to be there for a while now. So I highly encourage people to go.
Like you and Josh, I love history. I love reading about it, but there are different styles. You've got even somebody like Stephen Ambrose, that his books can get very academic and chock was full of so much information. Sometimes you got to slog through it, but it's worth it in the end. And then you'll have other history books that are written more like drama. And then you're writing for children. How do you change the style to make it interesting, to pull them in without getting too academic?
No, you're smart. I mean, that's the key thing, right? Is you have to know your audience. And what I found over the years, it's a surprisingly overlaps. A good story is a good story. That Amelia Earhart story, adults love hearing it and kids love hearing it. Kids obviously love it more because, she's 7 years old at the time. But I can see, there's one of my favorite stories that we have about Abraham Lincoln is when Abraham Lincoln was 9 years old, I think 9 or 11, I forget his age, but he's little. He's like, near 10 years old, and he used to love animals. And he comes upon a group of boys, and they're playing with turtles. So he's all excited. He races up there, and he says, I can't wait to play with the turtles. But as he gets close, he sees they're not playing with the turtles. They're putting hot coals on the backs of the turtles.
Oh.
And they're torturing the turtles to make them run faster. And young Abraham Lincoln, 11-year-old Abraham Lincoln looks at this. And I don't care if you're 11 years old or you're 50 years old. Sometimes it's hard to do the right thing. But someone has to. And in that moment, young Abraham Lincoln says, take the coal off the turtles, saves those turtles that day. And that story is something that I tell to adults. I'll put that in a book like The Lincoln Conspiracy, which is for adults, and I'll put it in for kids. I have a line in I Am George Washington, which is our kids' book, that is in the same book for adults about the first conspiracy, the secret plot to kill George Washington. Okay, the line is simply this: is leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. And I kids need to hear that, and adults need to hear that. Now, obviously, the adults can get the more graphic things and the battle more, but you'd be amazed at how much a good story when you see it. It's like the Supreme Court definition of pornography.
Yes.
You know what it is? You know when you see it, and a good story when you see it. So everyone wants a good story.
As I book guests to be on this show, some of the best authors we've ever gotten on history have been ones that were writing for kids and teenagers. And not to say that they dumb it down, but they put it in the plainest terms possible. I'm reading a book with my son the other day about snakes that he got from the book fair. And, I'm sitting there and he had walked off and I'm sitting going, boy, I never knew that about pit vipers. It doesn't matter, I guess, the age that you're writing towards if it's good information. Get it into as many hands as possible. Do kids read anymore, though, Brad? I mean, in all the studies that you've probably gotten from the publishers, anecdotally, as you've gone around to schools and stuff, do kids still read?
What smart kids do. You want a smart kid? Yep. You read with them. You just say, you tipped your hand right there, right? You read with your child. And I remember I've met President Clinton, I've met every living president that exists. And I remember what both of them do more than anything with their grandkids now. I know them both. Barbara Bush used to tell me, she used to say when my kids were born, because she read my books, they liked my books. And she said, when you read with your kid, I'll never forget her telling me this. She said, it's not about what you're reading. It's that your kid is in your lap and your arms are around them and you're sharing something you love with them. And that's the permanent memory. And the most successful kids read. And in fact, not only do they read, but they fight for their books now. So we did I Am Rosa Parks and I Am Dr. King, I Am Martin Luther King Jr., and these are obviously, some of the best books we've done by far. If you go to the Rosa Parks Museum, they're like, this is our favorite book is I Am Rosa Parks by myself and Chris Eliopoulos. And a few years ago, those books got banned in Pennsylvania. It had nothing to do with the it had nothing to do with the content. Yeah. What happened was the school board there basically this is what they did is they said, we want to make sure there was a list of about 100 books that were good for talking to kids about race. And they said, we want to read these books before they go into the hands of kids, which to me is an appropriate thing. You should read books before you give them to your children. But the fast one that they pulled, and it was like our books, Malala's book, books by Jane Goodall, like incredible people. But the fast thing that they did is a year went by and they still hadn't read the books. And so they had put everything on a hold, but after a year, that hold becomes a freeze because now librarians and teachers won't use it because they're like, they didn't give us the okay. And I got calls from Fox News, my friends at Fox News, my friends at CNN, my friends at MSNBC, all three stations saying, you got to come on the air and talk about this book ban. It's so absurd. When Fox News and MSNBC and CNN agree, you know someone screwed up, right? You know,
Right.
You know someone did something wrong.
We're all on board.
Everyone was on board. There are things, despite what we think, that everyone agrees on, and that's one. You know, you don't mess with Rosa Parks and Dr. King. And and I went. They asked me to do to come to a special school board meeting so that the books could, to speak about them to the school board. So I prepared this great speech. I read from I Am Rosa Parks, my favorite line from there in the book. It says, "I'm not a successful business person or a powerful politician. I'm just proof. I'm just an ordinary person, but I'm proof there's no such thing as an ordinary person." And I think I've saved the world for democracy. And I sit down and all of a sudden, all the students in that school start speaking. And they're like, why are you taking the Ordinary People Change the World series? Why are you taking these books that we love and pulling them off shelves? Why are you taking these books that are so good for us? And they're giving speeches like it's the final scene in Braveheart. Like I'm ready to sign up behind them. And by the time these kids were done, the school board reversed their vote, put all the books, of course, back into it. I'm Amelia Earhart. I am Rosa Parks. I am Martin Luther King Jr. All went back on the shelves. And again, just to go back to your original question, those smart kids, they picked the right fight. And those kids are going to be the unstoppable ones in the future.
Beautiful.
Hero Quest is at the Magic House right now. It features Ordinary People Change the World, books by Brad Meltzer and his illustrator. So Dolly Parton, Lincoln, Marie Curie, George Washington Carver, Leonardo da Vinci, they're all in there. You got a new one about the Beatles. That's my favorite band. Give me a Beatle anecdote.
So the Beatles, we never did a We Are book. They were all I Am, but I was like, we got to do the Beatles.
Yeah.
And my favorite detail about the Beatles, and the ones that I reacted to the most, Chris reacted to the most, and kids react to the most, is we all tell the story like the Beatles. They all had it made, and they were so good, and they went on Ed Sullivan, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles, and then everyone screams in Shea Stadium, right? But that's not the full story. The real story is when they first started playing, they were terrible together. They were terrible. They went, in fact, Liverpool, the bars there wouldn't hire them anymore, so they went to Germany, and they started playing in this terrible spot. They could smell the toilets from their beds. It was so gross. But for the better part of a year, they played, I think it was like 1,100. I forget what the number is, but it's basically over 3 hours on stage per day for the better part of a year. And that's where they become the Beatles. It's the hard work. It's the not stopping. And by the time they come back to Liverpool and they start playing again a year later, that's when everyone starts screaming. And that's the part we leave out for kids. And so to me, I love the fact that whether it's the Beatles or whether it's Rosa Parks or whether it's Amelia Earhart, anyone we've talked about today, and that's what Hero Quest is all about, is that instead of showing you these perfect people, you get to see the hero in yourself. We are all scared. We are all sometimes nervous. We all will fail. But to me, we got to teach our kids that that's okay. You got to get back up again, right? Like fall 7 times, get up 8. And that to me is what Hero Quest at the Magic House is all about. And Beth Fitzgerald is one of the best parts of your community. Her team there has been unstoppable and has put together this exhibit to really inspire your kids so they can find the heroes in themselves.
Have you come out to see the exhibit yet?
I'm coming out actually next month. I'm going to be there. Chris Eliopoulos was there to unveil the exhibit, the artist. I was actually busy that day and was so sad I couldn't be there. I'm going to come out next month to come see it, and I can't wait to see it face to face. And then I'll be out there in January for book tour for the next thriller.
Carve out some time for us. Come in and see us.
Yeah,
would love it.
We'll be in touch, Brad, to find out what that date is going to be and see if you can't swing by the studio while you're in town. And then you got more books coming out. Make Magic. We didn't even have time to talk about. You're writing inspirational stories for kids, for adults, and even the college students that just graduated. Brad did a speech at his son's college graduation in Michigan, and everybody loved it so much that they had to put it down in the book. So maybe we chat about that next time. But Brad, are they doing this at any other museums or kids museums around the country, or just ours?
Yeah, so it's going to basically be in yours for the first 3 years. It's then going to tour nationwide.
Oh, great.
And they also did the Xavier Riddle exhibit, which went to Michigan, came here where I am in Florida, toured around the country, and then is now back in St. Louis. So, yes, it's planned to tour nationwide. What Beth is building there with her team, it is a national treasure that they're building there, and so is the Magic House.
Well, I'll bring my son to go see it. And, Brad, thanks for always making time for us.
Can't wait. Thank you for always being there, whatever the genre is. Appreciate it.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
It's Jill Farmer, and I'm here with Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and author of the #1 best-selling book on new tax law, Keep What's Yours. Jeff, what do we need to know in October?
Jill, October is officially Financial Planning Month. The One Beautiful Bill Act locked in many of the tax laws set to revert back to the 2017 rules. But there were also changes to the tax code in this law, and we can help. Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax strategies offered by Capital Advisory Group to help them reduce their future tax liability and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you're paying more than your fair share, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax rule.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call, 636-394-5524. Online at capitaladvisorygrp.com. That's 636-394-5524 and online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Sunset Hill Subaru is a proud local business that has served the St. Louis metro area since 1963. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, their friendly, knowledgeable, and experienced team will get you into the Subaru that was built for you. And when you visit their massive showroom, you can expect the superior customer service that you deserve that's become synonymous with Sunset Hills Subaru. Located on Watson Road in Sunset Hills, they're only a stone's throw from St. Louis, Kirkwood, Arnold, and the Metro East. Browse or shop online at sunsethillsubaru.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show. This Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Do you know why right now is the absolute best time to book your new patio or deck with my friends at Outdoor Living? Aside from being the best in town, these guys are really smart. They pay attention to market conditions, and they've stocked up on patio and deck supplies, including steel, all before these tariffs kicked in. So while their competitors' pricing has gone through the roof, prices have never been better at Outdoor Living. Now is the best time to call and book your summer job. Not to mention, these same competitors have sold out to large conglomerates and hedge funds. Pat Leahy and his team remain locally owned and operated, providing the best pricing and the best service in town. So, looking for a new deck or a new fence or anything outdoor? Outdoor Living, 314-966-DECK. That's 314-966-DECK. Or check them out online, Outdoor Living Inc., or check out their great showroom, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood, OutdoorLivingInc.com.
And And now, KTRS weather from the John Beal Roofing Weather Desk.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Any slight chance for a spot shower, thunder shower ends this evening, and then clearing skies, another warm one for the weekend. Plenty of sunshine and dry weather both days as well. We wake up to 66 Saturday morning. That's mild early on, and then heats up quickly for a warm to hot afternoon, a high of 87 degrees under sunny skies. A little breeze at 10 to 15 miles per hour to the south will help. Sunday, sunny skies, a little breeze, and a high of 87 again. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing is the home of the lowest price roofing guarantee. Get a free estimate today at johnbealroofing.com.
Let's check traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
And Josh, a crash on eastbound 70 at 370 is blocking the two left lanes with the stop and go back up to 79. Eastbound 64 bogs down around 170, and southbound 55 is running a little slow at South Broadway. This traffic report is brought to you by the City of Eureka and Eureka Days. There's fun for the whole family at Eureka Days today through Sunday. Carnival rides, foods and crafts, a beer garden, a wing eating contest, kickball and cornhole tournaments, knocker ball, a kids corner, and a rock wall. And plenty of live music with a parade and fireworks. Visit EurekaDays.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
So this is, what is it, Dos Equis or, is it Cuervo commercial or something?
I think it's Modelo.
Modelo?
Yeah.
But it's from one of those spaghetti westerns, right?
The spaghetti western.
Which one?
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay. All right.
And he just passed away recently, Ennio Morricone.
Ennio Morricone?
Really?
Yeah.
I think, if I remember that correctly.
Just recently?
A couple weeks, I think.
It's
Wow.
been recent, yeah. I can't remember exactly.
Wow. But just this past year.
Ennio Morricone.
Yeah. I mean, these movies came out in the 60s.
Yes.
Huh. All right. Well, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But those are, those spaghetti soundtracks. Yeah, very much so. What do you got over there on the docket, Bob?
Well, the world can be an ugly place, and I'm here to tell you all about it. A hunter was rescued by police after sinking into quicksand. Well, it was really mud, but it was like quicksand. He was able to call 911. He became trapped while hunting ducks off Wharton's Point in Maine's Macquite Bay. So he was duck hunting, and he shot some ducks, and he was going to get some decoys and pick up the ducks. And as he did, he got into an area that it looked fine. It's all wet and marshy there, but it looked fine. And he stepped into waist-deep mud, and he kept sinking. And the more he struggled, the more he sank. But he had his phone on him, and he was able to call 911, and they came, and they were able to pull him out, but it wasn't easy because the mud created a suction, and it was very difficult to get him out. If he not had his cell phone, he probably would have died of hypothermia.
Oh, just stuck there.
Yeah, just stuck there. And they added at the end of the story, the police were able to retrieve the ducks that he shot.
Well, good.
So that's the most important thing. I was stuck in quicksand once.
I was going to say, I had heard quicksand was not a real thing.
Well, it's not like it is in the movies.
Yeah.
But I was actually shooting a television commercial when I was in Louisiana. And there was this creek bed, and it looked like it was solid with water running over like rocks or whatever. It wasn't. And I jumped into it, and it was up to my ribs.
Wow. That deep.
And you're stuck, you can't move. And the crew was out of eyesight. And so I waited for a little while, then had to yell a little bit, and they finally came and to get me out. But you start to get really cold. You're down in that mud. It could be frightening.
Really?
Yeah.
And you couldn't move?
I couldn't get out. No way. No chance.
What if I threw you like a vine?
And get Simba the elephant to
Ungawa. Yeah, wrap you with their trunk and
I think that would work.
Pop you right out.
And then did you see this? I can't believe it. A man plunged 11,000 feet when his parachute malfunctioned while he was skydiving. I guess he was attached to an instructor. Both their chutes didn't not open at all, but mostly failed. They fell 11,000 feet when they hit the ground. They were going about 45 miles an hour, which is bad. But it would have been what? If the no chutes at all or nothing to help, it would have been a couple 100 miles an hour. I don't know what the speed is, but at 45 miles an hour, they're both going to live, but they were both seriously, seriously injured, broken pelvis, punctured lungs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And remember yesterday I said I'm not going on a cruise. I'm not going skydiving either.
Have you ever been?
No, I'm not doing it.
I've always wanted to go.
No, thanks.
My wife went back in the day, and she said that, weeks after she went, she saw on the news an accident over. They do it over in Illinois. There was an accident, and the guy she jumped out with, the instructor, passed away in the skydiving. In a fall, in a skydiving accident. I think it was a plane crash or something, but it was. You hear those stories.
No thanks.
I say no thanks. But then again, I've got a friend who served in the military. He was in the 101st. And I said, airborne. How many jumps have you done? And he said, over 100.
Oh, yeah.
And so then you think, well, maybe if it's a military plane. Remember when George Bush, HW, like he was in his 90s?
Every year his birthday, I think, something like that.
Like 90 years old, and he jumped out.
The closest I've ever come to anything like that was covering the Ranger Challenge in Fort Benning for ESPN. And we were up in Black Hawk helicopters. I was strapped in completely. I made sure every buckle was buckled. But these guys got their gear and their parachutes on and all their gear, and they're just sitting on the edge, feet dangling out of the helicopter. And when it's time to go, they just fall forward.
Plopped out.
Plop right out of the chopper. It's insane. And that's why you want to have born-again, hard dudes out there protecting us. These guys are amazing.
I want to know what the feeling is. I just mentioned with Brad, riding the rides at Union Station. You go up and your stomach drops out. You ride a fun roller coaster, your stomach drops out.
Yeah, so does it bother those guys when they jump out?
What does it feel like when you're falling?
That's what I'm saying.
For, how long does it take? Has anyone sky dived? Is that right?
Yeah.
84126, how long are you free falling?
I assume it depends on how high up you are.
How high up the plane is?
I wonder if there is a typical, if there is a baseline.
A minute? Is it 30 seconds? Is it 20 seconds?
We see the ones that are real high, and a lot of guys are taking video and film and stuff. They're free falling for a long time.
And then when you're the parachute opens and you're coming down, what's that feel like? I would hate to think that I would leave this earth, spin off this mortal coil, Bob, and not know what that feels like. But at this age, I'm 44 years old. I got a son that I want to see graduate high school. I ain't taking chances like that.
Is it even that risky?
Well, I mean, you hear stories.
Ask this guy who fell 11,000 feet.
Ask that guy.
Well,
it only takes one, right? So, speaking of which, another terrible story: 23-year-old mountaineer fell to his death from El Capitan.
Those are my kind of stories. I saw that, and you took it.
When I saw this, I thought of you. It's 5:36. You haven't told the story yet. I think it's fair game. But his name was Balin Miller. He scaled the rock alone on a rope for days and then fell while rappelling down to retrieve his haul bags that had gotten stuck when he was trying to pull them up. It is just so scary. These people, have you seen The Free Climbers? Connor, what's that movie? Have you seen that movie?
So free climbing just means you're climbing on the rocks. You're thinking of free solo, where there's no rope.
No rope.
What's Tom Cruise opening scene from?
It's like Cliff Jumper.
No, from
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
When he's climbing the rocks.
I read again. It's hard to believe he did all that himself.
He did,
but there's a wire.
There's a wire, and also the drop. But he did do it himself.
Yeah.
Props to him.
To say that Tom Cruise does the stunts, I mean, the stuntmen are protected,
Yeah.
It's not like Tom Cruise is out there free jumping. He's got as much protection as the regular stunt people.
Of course.
If not more.
And Josh, you were asking about the documentary. It's free solo. It's on National Geographic, but I guess that's on Disney now. So if you get it on Disney or Hulu, they're all one thing now.
They say it's great.
I highly recommend it. It won an Oscar the year it came out. It's really, really good. And if you don't like heights, you'll probably feel it during this. A lot of the shots are from drone shots while this guy is climbing up this sheer cliff with no ropes. He was the first person. He was the first person to ever do it, and maybe the only to this point. It was from about 5 or 6 years ago now, so I don't know how many more have done it in the meantime. But it's an incredible documentary.
But these people that say, I want to be the first person to climb Everest in the winter. Why? Why would you want to do that? I want to be the first person to climb up, no ropes, see if it can be. Why would you?
Well, watch the documentary, and maybe you can glean some information.
Maybe.
I will tell you this. I think I get why it's so much fun. I remember being a kid going out to Rockwood Reservation, and they got some little mini cliffs out there. Again, I'm a kid, 10, 12, whatever, and climbing. It's really, I get that it's really fun, but at some point, it's too dangerous.
Yeah. We did the rappelling down the side of the Four Seasons for the Asthma and Allergy Foundation. A couple of summers ago. St. Louis Asthma and Allergy.
Wasn't it Over the Edge?
Over the Edge. Yeah, they do it every year.
That's pretty cool. You did that.
I did that. I couldn't wait to get to the bottom and just be done with it. It is nerve-wracking. And I feel like I don't have a problem with heights. I don't have a problem with roller coasters and all that stuff. But someone on the text line said, feels like forever when you're skydiving and you don't feel like you're falling until you get close to the ground.
Oh.
They call it ground rush. But it's the most peaceful thing ever until that. How about that? Someone else said, I would skydive, but there's no way I'm climbing a mountain, and there's no way I'm strapping myself to another man and jumping out of an airplane. Well, if you want to do it safely, you would.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to commercial break and come back and do Hollywood and birthdays.
You have the option to control your cash flow and wealth. Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the control option mindset featuring the lifetime and generational income maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
You can count on Cantor. I'm Mark Cantor. When I was 12 years old, I witnessed my father, a pediatric doctor at Cardinal Glennon Hospital, suffer a terrible accident when a large and defective battery exploded in his face. My father went into shock and had to undergo emergency surgery to save his life. While my dad recovered, he hired a lawyer who promised that no one else would be hurt by that company's product, and he filed a lawsuit to make sure no one did. I love my dad, and what he went through inspired me to become a lawyer and to start Cantor Injury Law. Like my father, I serve the St. Louis community, and I have done so for over 30 years. You can count on Cantor to treat you like family, to understand your case and your injury, and to fight for you. You can count on Cantor to help make things right. Visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or find us on Facebook or call us at 314-628-9999. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision, should not be based solely upon advertisement, so call Cantor.
When you send a text to the Big 550, do you wonder if we see all of them? Of course we do. We do pay attention and love your interaction on the Big 550 text line at 84126. Don't like something? Love something? Just let us know. Thanks for being a part of the KTRS family. And keep the text coming. We are the Big 550, the talk and text of St. Louis.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, it's David Sherwood of the Inside Out Show and president of Sherwood's Forest on Barrett Station Road, just south of Manchester. Fall planting season is here now. We are fully stocked with the area's largest selection of evergreens, Japanese maples, magnolias, and shade trees. Choose from lilac trees, sugar maples, birch, October glory, hornbeams, and crab to provide summertime shade and great fall and spring color. At Sherwood's Forest, you'll also find hundreds of green giant arborvitae and junipers to screen thy neighbor.
And right now, get 5 mums for $40.
Sherwood's Forest has been planting smiles for over 45 years, so head to the forest, Sherwood's Forest at 2651 Barrett Station Road, or check out our inventory at sherwoods-forest.com or call 314-966-0028.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Shall we do some entertainment?
Sure.
Well, this is pretty late to the party for me, but in case any of our listeners had missed it, Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl is out. And it's her 12th studio album. Features contributions from Sabrina Carpenter and George Michael, as you know, has passed away. She produced her own album along with Max Martin and Shellback. It's called The Life of a Showgirl. And my daughter's a big fan. She could tell you all about it.
I was going to say,
that's about all I have.
There was a headline, I want to say a week or two ago before it was released, where the George Michael news kind of got dripped out because you see the writing credits.
Yeah.
And the headline, I'm forgetting from which site it was from. It was like George Michael writing credit thought to be because she samples his work.
Yes.
Well, the implication is that there's a possibility that he contributed from the other side. It's obviously a sample.
It's obviously a sample.
I missed that.
What
It's a
song?
possibly
Yeah.
a sample. Well,
Was
yeah,
it
it has to
Freedom?
be a sample.
Well, we did the Ouija board, and it started.
So listen to this. Friday, October 3rd, that's today, Wendy's will be offering free French fries to Taylor Swift fans to celebrate the release of her new album. So if you order on the Wendy's app, you can claim free French fries.
How about that?
I don't have any idea what the connection is.
They want people to come in. They want young girls to come into the store.
Just using her.
Well, here's an interesting one. I don't know if have either of you ever done any acting, high school plays, anything like that, Connor? No. You're a
No,
football
I mean,
player.
we worked a little bit on the the stage work because we were doing engineering shop and that kind of stuff. So we make some stuff.
Yeah.
Done a little. I've dabbled.
You've dabbled in some
summer
acting.
theater.
A little importance of being earnest.
Oh.
What role did you have?
Ernest.
Ernest.
I believe it was Ernest. It was for my English class in college.
Oh, that's funny. Robert Pattinson admits it's kind of difficult to play a normal person after getting used to portraying freaks.
Oh.
How about that kind of a challenge? He and Jennifer Lawrence starring in a new movie called Die My Love. He said in an interview he's been playing freaks and it's really hard for him to make that adjustment. His recent roles include Mickey 17 and Batman. In fact, I think Saturday Night Live kind of did a send-up where he's just kind of a weirdo and that sort of thing. How old do you think he is? This isn't the birthday game, but...
Robert Pattinson is 36.
34.
He's 39. I would have guessed like 28.
Yeah.
But he's been around. And
these kids don't stay young forever, Bob.
They do not.
Is he implying that Batman is a freak?
Well,
absolutely.
a little bit.
Interesting.
I'll tell you this. I'm not an actor. And again,
You don't even play one on radio.
I've only done it in English class. I think it would be easier playing an over-the-top character than it would be to just try to be convincing as a normal person.
I agree with you.
Right? Does that make sense?
Easy to go too over the top.
Well, yeah.
And then you're not interested.
Somebody's got to pull you back.
As Robert Downey tells us all in Tropic Thunder, but we won't go there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I was in a college play, sort of experimental theater.
Yeah.
And I played the President of the United States.
Yeah, Mr. President?
Yeah.
Resolute desk? Were you a generic president or were you
Generic.
like Nixon?
I was just the president.
I am not a crook.
What if he just showed up and played it Nixon?
Yeah, yeah. What if
They didn't ask you to. He just
What if
started
you are there?
Pardon me?
He's doing
Are
his
you having
Kennedy.
spasms?
You come in as Kennedy.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I would go in as Millard Fillmore.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I
Yeah, pick an unused one.
Oh, it's just like Fillmore.
Yeah.
He used to do that all the time.
Boy, I just captured him. And here's one other. Oh, we're almost out of time, aren't we?
We could do a couple stories.
We got another story.
Okay. This was mainly one for me. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dr. Hunter S. Thompson, the gonzo journalist. He died decades ago, and it was ruled a suicide, but now his death is being re-examined. His widow, Anita Thompson, requested that the CBI, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, reopens his case. She says she believes she's got some evidence that people were talking about killing him. And the Pitkin County Sheriff's Office says, no, this case is absolutely closed. And the fact that they said that means I think they should reopen it. Because he had run for sheriff of Pitkin County.
Do you think they're still harboring some
I want to
resentment?
Think it. I want to think it because it makes it a better story.
Is it even the same sheriff? How many sheriffs have we gone through?
I don't know. I mean, he was fairly old. He was older.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't see what the nut would be to off him.
I don't know either.
That's why we got to reopen it.
That's exactly right.
You know what? Let's get the evidence back out.
He's one of my favorite writers. He wrote the quintessential book on Hell's Angels, and then he did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail in '72. He's one of my all-time favorites.
So
I got to see him once
you did?
in person, but I was too scared to go up and say hello. He was in his favorite bar. I was on vacation, and I went there on a whim.
Did he have the cigarette with the holder?
And he was there at his table, but he had a bunch of friends around him. So I couldn't do it.
Dr. Thompson.
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing, he was, on assignment for Rolling Stone to cover some motorcycle race?
Yeah. And then
why is Rolling Stone covering a motorcycle race in the first place?
That's just the style of the time.
Did Rolling Stone have a sports department in the early 70s?
Yeah, I'd have to do some research for you.
Maybe
Josh,
they were just
I don't
like,
know.
we don't care what you're covering. Just go out and do something.
And he did something,
and send
all right.
us something back.
Let's play some birthdays, shall we?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. We got a few. Okay, one of your favorites, Josh, Ashley Simpson.
Ashley Simpson is probably just a couple years younger than me. She is 41.
I don't really know. I'm going to just go older than Josh, though. 44, I'll say she's the same age.
Josh, bang, 41. One of my favorites, Valkyrie in the MCU. So you've been watching her. She was Charlotte in Westworld, Men in Black International. Tessa Thompson, big fan.
I really like her look.
Oh, she was in Creed. She was in Creed too. Those movies.
She is 36.
I was just going to say, are you going in reverse order? Normally you go older.
Yeah, I'm going
I think
reverse.
she's a little younger. I thought she was like 38.
She's 42.
Mm.
42. We're talking October, Halloween, scary stuff. One of the Scream queens, Neve Campbell.
Oh, boy. Oh, my gosh. Party of Five, late 90s. She was probably early 20s, so that was 25 years ago. I bet she is 47.
I was going to say early 50s, 51.
You get it, 52. And finally, this is for the guys out here, well, and women too, but you know what I'm saying. He was drafted in 3 major sports, football, baseball, and basketball. University of Minnesota. He became a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, Dave Winfield.
Oh, my goodness.
Primarily Padres, Yankees.
Dave Winfield, huge in the 80s. Is he 71?
66.
Dave Winfield is 74.
Oh, wow.
And those are the birthdays.
All right, and this is your traffic. Your last traffic update for the week. Captain Paul Kopsky, before you get out of here, how are the roads?
Josh, westbound 44 is heavy from Bowles to 141. Southbound 141 is congested from Big Bend to 141. And a couple of construction notes. Starting tonight, MoDOT crews will demolish the I-55 bridge over 67 in Jefferson County, and the northbound 55 ramp to eastbound 255 will be closed tonight from 10 p.m. to midnight. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net. 636-916-1122.
Early detection is crucial in the fight against breast cancer. Surprisingly, even in women of average risk, abnormalities can be found. So even if you don't think you are at risk, screening is essential to prevention and saving lives. The Show Me Healthy Women program offers free breast and cervical cancer screenings to women ages 21 through 64 free of charge if you qualify. Please visit our website at health.mo.gov/showmehealthywomen or call toll-free 866-726-9926 for more information and to see if you qualify.
My friends at Neighbors Credit Union are rolling out a new account, the new Debit All